Hi guys, welcome back. I know it's 3 minutes till 3, but I just thought I'd hit the live button and just give you a chance to come in here, and maybe, you know, if you're on, if you just put hello where you're watching from, that's cool. So this is the second session today. So I'm actually going to start properly at 3. So in that first session, we looked at building a site. So building a very basic site. So what we're going to look at in session 2 is we're going to do a few things. We're going to have a look how to build a course. And then we also got Kevin on, who's going to do a little bit of marketing talk, which is going to be really interesting. So he's coming on about 4. So it's about an hour and 2 minutes time. And that should be really cool. So like I said, we've got about 2 minutes until I'm going to start the presentation. So, you know, get a coffee or a tea or a water and just relax. Hi, Dan. Brilliant. Zenler wants to be a niche sponsor on a big platform. Yeah, they can't afford us. We're too good for them. I love you guys. Yep, free. Yep, it's all free. That's cool. Yeah, good to see you, Dan. I've not seen you before. I think you've been on some of the things. I don't know if you know, Dan, we do lots of live workshops on Sundays and things. So definitely worth checking those out. And, you know, we always say, like, definitely keep an eye on the Facebook group, because that's where it all goes on. That's where we do our office hours on Wednesdays and stuff. So, yeah. So definitely keep up with it all, because there's quite a lot going on. At the moment, Dan, we're doing a big marketing course. It's private. It's for people that sent video testimonials, but we will be opening it up as an evergreen course, because I realize there's a massive demand, not to just be able to put your courses together and your sites together, but also, and probably one of the most important things, is how to market. It's all very well having a beautiful site, beautiful courses that have spent you months and months, in some cases years, to complete. But if you can't actually get it in front of people, that's a big problem. So with this in mind, we're addressing the issue of marketing. And you'll see today that even Kevin's coming on and doing a bit of marketing from his point of view. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that ties up with what I'm doing as well. So that's going to be released at some point to let you know. Zenler's on as well. We don't know who Zenler is. It's a mysterious being. So, good to see you, Zenler. We got Brooke as well. Brooke from Sydney, Australia. Brilliant. I've not been to Sydney. I've been all around the West Coast, been from Cairns right round to Perth, and did New South Wales as well, Melbourne, that area. Travelled around Australia for about a year and had quite a big stop in Bali. I was younger then, so I could keep up with it all. Yeah, good. All right, guys. So it's 3 o'clock now, so let's get on with it. Right. Okay. So in the last session, what we built, I'm going to just screen share now, is this. And to stop my little face appearing on the side, I think I can turn myself off. There we go. All right. Can you all still hear me, and can you see my screen? That's all right. I can see it. Good. All right, guys. Brilliant. Rakesh is on as well. Brilliant. So Rakesh, if you want, guys, you know, put your questions in on the chat. Rakesh is there and Zenler's here, so they will help answer them as well. You can get as technical as you like. Okay. Sorry, Rakesh. You can get technical as you like on those. So good. Right. Brilliant. Okay. So in the last session, what we looked at was how to build a site. So what we did, we started with the Scratch Zenler template that we give you, and we expect you to sort of change that and modify it as much or as little as you want to. We give you all the pages, they're auto-populated, and you basically can go in there, put your own content in there, and get a site up basically like this one within an hour. Okay, so this was created in session 1. So if you haven't seen the event for session 1, check the Facebook group and just watch that. And we also talked quite a lot about testing as well, going in there and testing the platform. Rakesh did a little bit about the history of Zenler, where it's sort of come from and all those things. And I showed you what's happened in the last 12 months. So, and also through all our training as well. So if you want to know where all those things are, check out session 1, because it's all in there. So what we have is we have this site here, and what you're going to notice is we set up basically an About Us page. We changed the default kind of layout of the registration and the support pages, and we tested it and logged in as a student. Okay, so this is our login here. When you first log in as a free member, you will get access to lots of the tools, but not all of them. Okay, so that's for pro and premium members. Okay, so this will come up each time, but you can just click continue to beta and here you are. Okay, so we're going to start with courses, but I'm just going to finish off the site because there's a few little things that I need to tell you about it. So if we go to our site and we go to pages, what you're going to see is we created a couple of temporary pages, these pages here. Now we have these in the site, but we're not using them anymore. And we might reuse them later for if we're doing maintenance on the site or something. We might want to swap our home pages out and put this as a maintenance page. That way you can do live changes in the site. And then you can shift it back into production mode. But the thing about this is these 2 pages are at the moment published, and we don't really want them published because they're not part of the site. They were just basically to get sign-ups at the beginning. So a really easy way to unpublish is just to click the little gear icon and hit this unpublish here. So you just uncheck the publish page, click update, and you're going to see that it will go red now. That means the page is unpublished. Now, why am I doing this? I will tell you in a second when we come to build the sitemap. So I take out all the pages and I make sure they're unpublished. I don't delete them because I might reuse them. So just as a tip, don't delete them. So any pages maybe you've created templates because you're messing around with them, things like that, just make sure they're unpublished before you do what we're going to do next. Because what we're going to do next is we're actually going to build what's called a sitemap. Now it's really we click the button and it's done. And what it does is it looks through all the pages of your site that are published, and it will put a map together. So it will basically give a URL. Now, why do we need it to do this? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One of the most important is search engines will use sitemap.xml files to index your site. If you're submitting your site to Google, like Search Console, things like that, it will use the XML, and lots of search engines will use that XML, sitemap.xml file, to build basically a map of your site, an index of your site for listing. So you always want to do that. Okay. Now, one big thing to remember is anytime you change, or anytime you add, unpublish, remove a page, those kind of things, you want to recreate the sitemap to show that that page doesn't exist, or that you've added a new page. Now, at the moment, it's a manual method, but I think if I'm right, Rakesh, we might be doing it so it's an automatic method. I really like the manual method because I have full control over my sitemap, okay, personally. So if we do have that option to auto update, I'd like the option to be able to turn it off as well, so I can manually do it myself. But I'm used to doing this, so this is my own preferences. So to recreate the sitemap, all we need to do, guys, is go into site settings, and over here it says sitemap under this tab. Now, we haven't created, because it's a new site, we haven't created a sitemap yet. Okay, so we're going to click create sitemap. And what's going to happen is it's going to open a page up. This is not an error. People seem to think it's an error, but it's not. It's actually just showing you this URL. And this is the URL that you can submit to search engines. If they ask for a sitemap, you can submit this whole URL. And it basically will generate a list of all of the pages inside your site that you've created. So obviously, if you've got a page that you're playing around with, you don't want that to come up in search results. So you need to make sure it's unpublished or deleted, and then recreate the sitemap, and it will not be in there. So it's always a good idea to just have a look through here and make sure all these URLs are tying up with your pages. You'll also see another thing here, and this is really important. It says last mod. Now, this is the last modification to the page. And we're not just talking about pages on your site, we're talking about course pages as well. We're talking about sales pages. Okay, so we're talking about any pages that are in the site can be indexed. So you want to be aware of this. Now, this last mod date basically will tell a search engine that that's when it was last modified. So if you're doing lots of updates in your pages and you've submitted your sitemap or Google's Googling your site, you want to make sure that you're recreating the sitemap if you've made a change, because what will happen is you'll tell the search engine, look, I've made a change today. I made a change yesterday. I made a change the day before. And Google, getting cleverer and cleverer with these things, will notice that your content is being updated regularly. And that can help with search results. I'm not going to go any more than that, but that can help. So telling it that it's been updated will then trigger Google to recrawl your page and look at the content and see if it's changed. All right. So that's sitemap. It's really important. So I needed to bring that to your attention. All right. So that is that. So let's get on with courses. So really easy this, guys. So we've got our site. We've got no courses in there at the moment. We're going to go to courses and we're going to go create course. Let's just click create course. Nice and easy so far. It gets easier. So I'm going to call this particular course, I'm going to call recorded sessions from a day with Zenler. And this course is going to be very simple. I'm not going to get into doing bundles, dripping content out, doing tiers, any of this stuff. That's all in the complete guide to Zenler. So this is going to be a very simple course just to get you started. So obviously you've got this here, the title of the course. Now we want a subtitle for it. So you can go recorded live sessions that we did on Facebook. Okay, and you can put a course summary, but it's not essential. So I'll just put something in there now. It's just course summary, watch and review all the latest live sessions by Zenler. Okay, that will do. All right, so I've just filled in that, got the title, got the subtitle, and I've got the course summary. So I now click create course. And what's happening now is it's going to take you straight into the curriculum. So the curriculum is where you build your course out, but it's done a lot of things. It's set the course up for you. It's also set a series of pages, and that's what we're going to look at first, the pages. So let's have a look at these tabs. Before I do this, let me just go out of this as if you've just, right, that's it, enough for today. I've just done 3 things. I'm leaving it and having a coffee break. So if you came back into the site, you went to site, you went to courses, now you're going to see that you've got it there. So if you click inside these little 3 dots and you click edit, you'll go straight back into the course again. So you're going to notice that you can change things. You also have a URL now generated in there, okay, which you can copy. You can see that the instructor is me. Okay. You could choose a category for it. I'm not going to get into this. And you've got several options down here as well, which I'm not going to touch. They're all covered in the complete guide to Zenler. We've also got a course card here. So you have a few options with the course card. You can upload. You can also design it in Canva as well. So I'll quickly show you how we can design it in Canva. So a course card is basically what will show front end when you look at the site. Okay, so I'm going to just click design on Canva, and it's going to open my Canva account. Now, the Canva account it connects to is the Canva account that you use. So if you haven't got an account, you need to open an account. If you've got a free Canva account, it's going to be a free Canva account. You can't use any of the pro tools. If you've got a pro Canva account, then you can use, of course, all the pro assets in there. All right, but if I was to use a course card, you can use all the things you can do in Canva, and I'm not going to spend too long on this because it's not a Canva course. So let's just take yoga for beginners and throw that in there. You'll notice that it's free. It says it there. This is some of them are premium content. You can see that's pro. So I just put that image in there, and I could go something like a day with, and then return Zenler. Yeah. Join the class. And of course I could change a few things. Now, say I played around with that and I put lovely images in there, made that course card look great. The thing to take from this is you're connecting to your Canva account. When you do click that publish, it will give you an exact size that we need to go into the course card. So if I click publish now, watch what happens. It's going to prepare the design and it's going to automatically put it into here. There we go. Now, what's also really cool about the Canva thing, the design on Canva, is that if I hit design with Canva, it will jump back into your account again, and it will go back to the design. So I could put something here if I wanted to. So it's really good because it actually gives you that ability to go back and edit and then go click publish again. Again, it will prepare the design and it will go straight back into here. So you can see it's going to update, bang, done. Okay, so really cool feature. We've got this feature designing Canva. We've got this in the course card, and we've also got it in videos, which I'll show you later. It works in exactly the same way. Now, we can also go ahead and remove this, and we can also upload our own. So I'm going to go in and change this, and I've got a course card that I've already made up, which is here. And I'm just going to click the open. I'm going to just make this, because I know this is exactly the right size, and I'm going to click crop and save. And now I've created and I've put in my own course card there. So really easy with course cards. That kind of covers this whole area. I'm going to jump back to the curriculum in a minute. And I'm going to go into, I'm just going to show you what this does, students. Students allows you to see the students that are in the course. Okay, so if you've got any students in there, they'll show up in there. Okay, you can see it's filtered it automatically to give you the students. It opens in a new tab as well. So you can close that down, go back into here. Next thing we've got is automation. So automations, guys, is a way to send emails to people if they join the course, or if they're completing a lesson, or if they've completed the course itself, or they just enrolled, or they just signed up. So you can actually automate it to just send out emails that you've pre-set up. Yeah. So you set the automations up and they fire out. Now, for this particular course showing you here, I'm not going to go through automations. Again, that's covered in the complete guide to Zenler. Okay, so automations are part of this and it all works from in here. We also have what's called drip. Now this, as it says, enables you to drip content out. So if you wanted to, you could drip each of the sections out like once a week, once every 2 weeks. So when someone signs up on week 1, they get access to week 1's worth of content. Then week 2, it automatically opens that area up. So that's dripping content. People use it a lot to keep engagement and also to run it past that 30-day money back. That's why a lot of people use it, so that it runs over that time, and then they can't get a refund then because it's after 30 days and the content still continues to drip out. I'm not saying that's the only reason people use it, but that's one of the reasons. So next we have pricing, which we're going to talk about in a minute. We haven't got any pricing plans, but we have a few options for pricing plans. So if I just go add a new pricing plan, we have free option. We have a one-time purchase. We have a subscription, generally used for membership sites. And we also have a payment plan, usually used for high ticket items. So if we're talking about a course or about £1,000 or something, you could do 4 payments of 250 to take a payment plan on higher ticket items. Subscription, obviously it keeps running, so you can, and within subscription there are options as well, like pay for initial fees, free trials, these kind of things. So these are the payment choices we have, which is pretty much covers the lot. So that is payment types. So I'm just going to jump out of there because we'll do the payment type at the end, and I'm going to jump back into the course and we're going to look at the last 2 things. The thing we need to look at here is the pages. So like I said to you before, the pages are automatically generated by the Zenler system, just like the pages for the site. So we get a sales page. You're going to notice if you look at this little graphic that we've got here, you can see that it's kind of shaped like a funnel. because that's exactly what it is. You go from the sales page, you'll then like the product, whatever it is, membership, whatever it is. Then of course you'd want to buy it. So you would go to the checkout page. Then you would choose the option that you want to buy it. So if you set up multiple pricing plans, you'd pick one, you'd pay for it. And then after you've paid for it, you would go to the thank you page. Okay. And then you would have access to go into the course access page. So pages that are open to being on Google and things like that is the sales page. Okay. The checkout page could come up. The thank you page shouldn't come up. As a general rule, SEO all of your pages, even if they don't come up and they're private. But the page that is absolutely private and you cannot get into unless you've paid for it, or if it's free, you signed up for it, is the course access page. Okay. That is the container. Nothing gets in past that shell. Okay. So you've got a sales page, you've got a checkout page. The checkout page then says, thank you for the purchase. Do you want to go to the course? Then you go inside the shell, the shell that nothing can get into unless they have paid or they have registered for it being a free course. So these are the pages that are set up. So let's go in and start having a look at them. So we're going to look at them first. We're going to preview this page. So here's the page come up. Again, it's in a default template. The first thing you'll see at the top is this course is not open for enrollment. Why does it say that? We haven't got any pricing plans set up. Because we haven't got any pricing plans set up, it's not going to show for enrollment. Okay, so it's a message up there for that. And you're also going to notice with that text that you put in, we put the title in as recorded sessions from a day with Zenler. So you can see that's automatically gone in here. And you can also see that in here, we've got recorded live sessions that we did on Facebook was that summary. And then you've got here, the course summary there, and that's a description there. You'll also see that we have a video in there, an enrolling course, which won't go anywhere because there's no pricing plan. Also, we then have a little bit of us and some basic blocks that have been put in there that we can remove. We expect you to highly customize these pages to match what your site is, which is what we're about to do. So let's do that. Let's close this off and start to build our site, our course. So I'm going to go edit page, a little bit different this one. You click a little edit button in the corner. Okay, this is to preview and this is to copy the URL. Okay, so whilst that's loading up, which will take a second or two, and whilst that's happening, what is the rationale of adding SEO information for private pages? Magda, absolutely none. Just do it. If you start to be, I consider it sloppy behavior, even if a page is private, not to SEO it. Just do it. You know, just get into the habit of doing it. I did this with some marketing students. They were asking exactly the same question, Magda, and I was like, this is a lesson for you. Just do it. Just keep doing it, because you'll never forget then if repetition causes you not to forget. When you get to the stage that you've been doing it for a while, then you might decide not to. But as a general rule of thumb, you should be thinking that all the time as you work. I'm not going to cover that in depth because it's not a marketing course, but I just do it naturally. I can't stop myself. I have to. I don't consider the page finished until I've done that part of it. And that's a good mindset to have, because it will stop you from forgetting. We have it all the time, Magda, where people are posting stuff to Facebook and they're saying, why is that text showing like that? It's because they haven't put the SEO in there. So if they do a repetition of that, do that 50, 100 times, they're never, ever going to forget. And that's my thinking behind it. Okay. And I can't stop myself. That's just what I do. All right, so we're actually in the page editor now. So we're just going to style this up. Now we're in the page editor. You can see here that this is a dynamic block. So what this means is it's taking this information from the course details page in here. So if I was to leave this dynamic block in here and I was to change this text, it would update in here, exactly the same as the header. Also, the course subtitle. Now this is not, it's taken it from here, the summary that we had, but it hasn't left it in there. It's kind of just put it in there. So it means you can still go in and change it. So we did this as dynamic because we thought that you guys might want to, you know, change that in the course details. So you can then have it automatically pop up in here. So I'm going to make some modifications to match the site we've already got. Remember, sometimes it's a good idea to have the site up like that, to have a look at the style that you've got, which is like this. And that way you can kind of jump back between the two and make sure you're getting the same kind of style running through the site. So let's go and grab an image. So I'm going to grab a background image because we've already got her in there. I'm going to put her in there and I'm going to go to center, something like that. I'm going to go to a background color and I'm going to grab that blue, that, bring this up a bit. And I'm going to jump into here and change that text. So I'm jumping around quickly. All I'm doing is going in and hitting the little gear icons where you have access to change things. So I might want that font a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go and put that to 18. I've got the enroll in course. This is automatically set up, this button. So I'm going to go into the gear icon here because I don't like that style. So I'm going to change it to more of a rounded style. I'm going to jump back to the styling again. Whoops. Actually, I might use that. There we go. Oh, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, I might leave it. Okay. Right, I'm going to save that. So already quickly, you saw that, a few minutes, we just changed it. Again, like I said, SEO your pages up. I'm not going to for this tutorial, but definitely do that. Right, now, video. Okay, so we've allowed you to put a video in here. Now, you can delete it out. You don't have to have a video in there. But if you have a sales video, because this is a sales page, you want to put it in there. So I have a sales video that I just did just before we did the live. So it's not top and tailed or anything. When I mean top and tailed, it hasn't got an intro and an outro. It's purely just done that really quickly just before I came on. So I'm going to show you that now. So I'm going to show you some of my course assets that I'm going to use for this course. So here they are. So I did this quick promo here. And I'd be looking to put this into the sales page. So when I work with any pages I'm doing, I make sure I have a kind of sales, telling people what the course or the membership's about. And we put it into that page because it's a sales page. People can watch it. It's a short, normally a short video, probably less than a minute. And it tells people what it's about. And then they can make their choice whether they want to buy in. It's very powerful to use videos inside of your sales page rather than just it be static. It also, they get a chance to see you, they get a chance to hear you and connect with you, and this is key. So I'm going to upload that video. So I'm going to go into this little box here, this little gear icon. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to say video URL. We're going to click in there and you can see I've already uploaded it. Now all I did, guys, is I clicked upload video and then I selected the video, which is on my desktop. Where is it? daywithzenler and course. And then I just clicked that and I clicked open. Okay. And then it just uploads it straight in there. So I've already got it in there. So I'm going to click this and then it's going to appear if all works. Oh, maybe not. Might need to go in again. Okay, let's select that. There we go. Bang. Okay. So I have my promo video in there. It's not the most, it's like, look at my face in there. It's because I've got, it takes a frame out of the video. So I want to really control that. I want to put something in there that looks better. So maybe the course card. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's the same way that we created the course card that you could create in Canva or you could upload. You can do the same thing with videos as well. So we're going to jump. I'm going to save this now. I'm not going to do the bottom area first. I'm just going to sort this video out. So let me just go back to here. So to change the thumbnail on the video, we have a few options. So I'm going to go into Site. Whenever you upload a video, it's going to appear in Site Media Library. You can see there it is there. Now you can filter this. This media library is where all the stuff you've uploaded. So if you've uploaded PDFs, zip files, PNG, JPEGs, video, it's all going to be in here. And we give you the ability here to select the file type to filter. So if I wanted to just filter the videos, I click video, and it's just going to give me the videos that are uploaded. So I can now go into edit here, and you're going to see this comes up. Now, if you've got closed captions, guys, you can upload them there, okay? But we can also update the thumbnail. So I'm going to click update, and you have the option to select a current frame, upload a custom thumbnail, or you can click and design it on Canva, exactly the same way we did for the course card. So it's quite good, this select a frame. I like it. What you do is you can play this. Let me just play it. Welcome to A Day with Zenler. Good. And I'll stop it there. So if I wanted to select that frame, then I could click select current video frame. And there we go. It's changed. But I want to actually upload my course card. So I'm going to go to upload custom thumbnail. I'm going to find my course card there, and I'm going to click open. And now it's going to load it in, and that's it. So now I've got that video in there. It might not show on here because I haven't refreshed it, but if we go and view this page, let's click preview. I might have to refresh this, guys, because I think it's saved. Yeah, it will come up. Let's just go back to media library. Yep, it's up there. I'll have a look in a second. I think it might be because I need to be in incognito. Let me just click and drag that. And I'll have to publish the course. So trust me, that has been sorted. So it will come up in there. So what I want to do now is I want to move through the rest of this stuff. So course summary, again, you can change this. Are we going to, what are we going to do? We're going to make it into a membership site. Are we going to make it into a course, just a one-off payment? So that'll reflect what you're changing in here. We also have course curriculum down here. And you might notice if you drag the cursor, it says course curriculum dynamic. Well, the only reason there's nothing in there is we've put nothing into the curriculum. So as we build it out, you're going to see. Now, you also down here, we can actually put our biography in here. So if you want to put your biography in there, you can put it in there and it tells you a little bit about yourself. If you want to delete it, you can go in and delete it. I'm going to delete it out and delete this one out as well. Don't want that. Leave the course curriculum in, or course workshops. So I'll just change it. Oh, workshops. Okay. And again, all this stuff is highly editable. You can come into here, and if I want to change this background color to say the orange, and I want to change this to white to follow the style that I'm kind of implementing, I can do that. I can put more content into there if I want to. They're not dynamic. So I'm going to grab my little document. Okay. So I was just reading it and making sure that I've got the right one. Let's put that in there. Okay. And I'm going to take this and I want to center it probably. Good. Okay. I'm just going to grab this now, change the size. Okay, that looks good. Don't like this image down here behind the keyboard, so I'm going to change that out. So I'll probably swap it out for one of the images we've already got, which is something like this one. There we go. And I'm going to put an overlay on it to make it white. And that's a little bit too much. Okay. And let's click save. All right. So that's our sales page done. Okay. So I'm going to close that off, and I'll jump now back into our course and back to our next page. So our next page is the checkout page. So guys, a really big one here. If you're using the free plan, you have access to integrate with Stripe. Now you've got two options. If you're using the Pro and Premium packages, you can actually connect up with Razorpay. If you're for the Indian marketplace, you can also connect up with PayPal, and you can connect up with Stripe. If you're using the free plan, you can only connect up with Stripe. Okay, so you need to set that up under integrations, which we'll look at in a second. So this is our default checkout page. So you can see that if you don't want to do this money back guarantee thing, you can turn that off by deleting. And also if you want to change these out, you can as well, or you can remove the blocks like this. And I've seen quite a few sites leave these blocks in. I like to remove them out like that. And I'm going to click save to that. And I'm going to really say that's done. Go and make sure you SEO it. Always comes up. That shows how important it is. It always comes up at the end when you do your first save. Okay, so that's that one done. So I've done the checkout page. Let's go to the thank you page now. You can see how quick I'm going through these pages. And once you've got a style, this is why it's a good idea. Once you set your branding style, you can apply it. You pretty much know what you're going to do. You can go, right, well, that's an orange block, that's a blue block, that's a gray block, that's a red block. I'll just put that in there, bang, 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 bang. And you can just really get this stuff out quite quickly. I do advise you to spend a lot of time working on these things, but you can do it quickly if you already know what you're doing. So inside here, we have the thank you page. We have a background color of this kind of white. Is it white? It's kind of like that. It's not bad. I'll just put it into white. I don't want to go too mad with this. And I'm going to kind of say, I'm going to bring this up a bit there. I might change that background color. That looks a bit better. And I might make this a bit bigger just so it stands out. Okay, save it. You'll also notice there is a little upsell there. If you're selling another course or maybe a PDF download, digital download or something like that, you can add an upload and it will pop up there. We haven't got any other courses, so we can't really add an upsell at the moment. You'll also notice on the checkout page that you have a chance to put an order bump in as well, but I'm not covering those. Again, they're in the complete guide to Zenler. You see how much you can do. You can do tons of different things. So a 3-hour session would turn into a 3-day session. So we've done the thank you page. We're happy with that. So let's close that off. Before I do it, make sure you save it. You're going to get that done. I'm going to close that down. And we're going to go into the final page, and that's the course access page. So I'm going to edit this page. Now, this is the private page. This is where you will put your course details, all your information. So if you're doing a membership site, you might have lives featured in there. You know, you might have all your course details, and you might have a little bit of extra information. This is what they've bought. Okay. So again, we have a course curriculum. Again, you've got this dynamic block. Down here, we've also got a review block. I'm going to leave this pretty much the same, the way it is at the moment, because I think we can build on it. Once we get the curriculum in there, maybe get the pricing in there, you can sort of see what's going on. But it's pretty easy. You know, again, you could go in there and add new blocks into this area. change the colors, all these sort of things really easily. But we've set it up so it looks nice. It's got a nice little course card in there. It's a dynamic block, so it takes the content from the title. And you can also see that we have lessons completed. So it shows how many lessons have been completed to the student when they go in there. And you can also view that progress as well from admin. Okay. So let's now focus our attention fully on the curriculum. So the curriculum for this course is going to be really simple. I'm going to show you the content. Let me just go back to the course. Okay, so obviously I've had the promo video. I've got a little feature list of comparisons between free, pro and premium. And what I want to do here is I just want to put that in as a PDF. I'm also going to zip it and put it in as a download, just so you can see what you can use. There's going to be some options inside the curriculum that you're not going to be able to add by using the free version. Okay, one of those big ones is assignments. Assignments, you can get your student to send you files back. You can also give files out, and you can also mark and grade their progress through a particular section or wherever you put the assignment. You can also mark it as compulsory, so that you've got to approve the assignment before they can continue through the course, which is really handy. I think that's one of the key things for me. Basically, you can hold students up. So this is the content we've got. I've got the year with Zenler. I'm going to put in there. I've also got the first session, the first one we ever did, which was a day with Zenler back on the 6th, the 25th of June. So I'm just going to put June, and that was session 1, session 2, and this was today's session, part 1. Okay, so I'm going to put them in there. Now I'm going to do two things. One, you've seen how I uploaded the video, but I can also grab and embed from YouTube. Now, as it happens, these two Day with Zenlers are on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to basically grab the code from there, and that will save me uploading it. One thing to bear in mind with uploading embed code from YouTube is you're not going to be able to change the thumbnail. So if you want to change the thumbnail from a YouTube embed, you need to go to your YouTube account and upload the thumbnail in there. Okay, just so you know. Right, so let's get on with this. So the first thing I've got here is Untitled Section. So these are sections. Underneath each section, you can put lessons. So let's go and call this Day with Zenler, and let's say June 2021. Let's click save. So there it is. Okay, so let's now add a lesson. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go and click add a lesson. So now you've got that underneath this, and I'm going to call this session 1 tips on Zenler. Let's make it a little bit more exciting. Let's put hot tips on Zenler. So that's session 1. We can set it in here to enable a free preview, so people can see it. If they haven't bought the course, they can still see it. You can put it in draft. Draft is really good if you're working on putting stuff together, but you've got a live course. You can put it in draft and no one sees it until you undraft it. You can also set as compulsory, so people have got to watch it to carry on, you know, through the course. And you've also got enabled discussions, so you can put discussions on particular lessons. All right, now underneath these we have this stuff here, which is all our media that we can add. So we can add video, we can add audio, we can add PowerPoint, PDF, text, custom code, downloads, quizzes, surveys, SCORM, HTML, and assignments. Now, some of these, if you click assignments, for instance, because this is the free package, it's going to tell you to upgrade. So it's going to be pretty clear which ones you can use and which ones you can't. We're going to use video, which you can use on the free package. So we're going to click video, and we have options here. We can just click on here like we did with the sales or promo video. We can drop a video into here. You can also access a video from the video library if it's in there, and you click select, and you can also embed here. And this is the one we're going to use for this. So I'm going to go to my YouTube channel now, and I'm going to embed that session in there. So I'm going to go to YouTube. and stop that from playing if it's playing. And if we scroll down, you can see there, that's the session that I want. So I'm going to click on that and I'll just pause it. And I'm going to go to share and I'm going to go to embed and I'm going to code to copy. Okay, so I've just copied that code. I'm going to jump back to here and in the embed code, I'm simply going to press Control V to paste it and I'm going to click save. And there we go, our video. Now, if we click on that video, you're going to see a little thing start playing in there to show it's connected. And it's actually trying to open it as well. Whoop. So that is it. So I've embedded that in there. It's instantly popped up. So let's go and grab another one. Let's go to here. And I've copied this. And I'm going to add a new lesson. Go. So it said, are you sure you want to leave this lesson without saving? No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to click cancel and I want to save. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to do a lesson. Let's go add a lesson into here. This will be session 2. Click save, video, embed, jump to my channel, go back one, go to the second day, which was this one, and go to share, embed, copy, back in here, embed, paste it in there, click save, and there it is. Simple. So that now we have a course curriculum going together. So if I now preview this, now remember we haven't published this course yet. I'm going to preview it. So we're going to go through some of these pages and we're going to be adding more content to this, don't worry, but we're going to go into the sales page first of all. And you're going to see now that I've got content in here that it will actually appear. It's not live. We're previewing this as admin. All right. Okay, let's go. Let's preview. So I'm going to preview the sales page. And there we go. You can see our thumbnail now is correct. Remember, we uploaded it. We still can't buy into this course because there's no pricing option. But look what's happened now. It's started to fill out the content. We've got session 1, hot tips, and then inside those are the rest of the lessons. We haven't got pricing plan in there because we've not set it up yet. But it started to populate. So if I now go to course access page as a student, this is what they're going to get. So it started to fill this content out automatically. And finally, we have the course curriculum. So the course curriculum is if they click on any of these buttons in the course access page, they'll go to the course curriculum, which is here. So let's have a look at that. And you're going to see that it gives all the lessons out on this side, and then you can jump through them. So you can see we've got a day with Zenler, June 21. You can click there. You can go to that video. This is streamed in or embedded in, sorry, from YouTube. So you can click it and watch it there. Click it and watch it there. Okay, so it's filling out nicely. So let's now go and set up another section. So remember, these are sections. They can be closed off, and then I can create a new section. Sorry, guys, I've got some weird sounds going. Can we use a line pay? No, not at the moment, Mary. I'm going to go and add a new section. Let's do it. Let's go add section. And let's put this in here. So a day with Zenler, and I'm going to make this July. So, you know, if I was running this out as a membership site, I could be adding these each week or each month. So if I run one out a month, it could be a membership plan, and then I would just add them. I could just add sections in and it would just roll through like that. So I'm going to click save to that. You'll probably want to put this section at the top because it's the most recent. And now what we're going to do with this is I'm actually going to upload a video. So you can see that we can add a lesson, And we can also copy lessons, by the way. I'm not going to go into that, but we can basically copy lessons from one to another if we want to. And we can also bulk upload. So if you've got multiple videos, you can select them and you can drag them in one go. So with this one, I'm going to click this upload. So it's going to give me this little box. And there's a few ways that you can connect. You can use Google Drive, Box, OneDrive, OneDrive Business, Dropbox, or My Device. What I generally do is I just drop the video in there. So I've got my videos here on another page, and then I've got this Day with Zenler Part 1 on the 30th of July. I'm just going to drag that like that, drop it in there, and click upload. Now, this is 535 megabytes. Now, the limit is 1 gigabyte. Remember this Day with Zenler, this is not processed, so it will be less, but that was 3 hours long. Okay, it's HD, it's 1920 by 1080. I know a lot of people have problems with their videos being exceeding the 1 gigabyte limit, and that's probably because they're shooting in 4K or bigger, and they're trying to upload them because it's literally 4 times the size. So, you know, an hour and a half. So they're having to use programs like Handbrake to squash the video down while still maintaining the quality. So I always upload in HD. That's 1920 1080, not standard HD 720. So you can see it takes a little bit of time. Obviously I'm streaming, I've got stuff running, so it's taking longer than it normally would. But when it reaches the end there, then it will go into there as a course. Now, some people, when they see the video go in there, they're like, why isn't it showing? I can't view it. There's a little kind of checker box thing over the top of it. I can't use it. That's basically because we use Vimeo. So these videos are being put onto Vimeo, and Vimeo processes those videos. And it takes a while. Like if you've used YouTube and you upload a video, you notice that it says processing. That's exactly the same. Every system has a processing time for the videos. So just be patient with it. Do not do it on the day that you're going to release it. If you want to upload the video, put the video in draft. Yeah, come back maybe a few hours later, see if the video appears, and then undraft it. A reason you want to do that is because while it's processing, if your students go in there and they click it and it doesn't show, they're not going to be happy. So to avoid that, you can make the lesson draft, and then once it's published, once you can actually see it and you've checked, you can then click the undraft button and you won't have any problems. All right. Just a little pro tip there. Yeah, Mary, you'll need to ask Rakesh. He might come in and answer that question for you. For course thumbs and videos, our design canvas. Yeah, so I think I've shown that can be Canva free too. Yeah. So if you've got a free account, you can use it. I think I showed that because that was a free account I was using there. Understand, but at least some of them are available. Okay. So I think Rakesh has got all those questions. So we're going to shoot over to Kevin at 4 o'clock. So we've got about 10 minutes, but doing really well. So what have we done so far, apart from wait for this video to upload? What we've done is we've set up all of our pages. Okay. We've started to build out our curriculum. We've got all our course details in there. I've explained about the automation students drip. Okay, we've had a quick look at pricing, but we need to put that into effect. We have not published our course, but we've looked at it from an admin point of view. So we need to do some testing later once this is finished, but we're pretty much near the end. I'm going to show you how to upload different media types in a second, just run through those, but it won't take very long. Then we're going to set up the pricing, publish the course, test it as a student, and we're finished. And that is how quick you can set a course up. If you have the material, you know, if you already have your course material, it's going to be really quick, because like everything else, like remember when I was saying about building a site, the hardest and the longest part about creating an online course is you getting the material together, not the platform itself. Okay, so depending on how complex you want to get with your site, that's going to hold you up. Okay, so the site itself is really quick, but it's just that side of things can hold you up. And like I said before, just take some of these tips away. I haven't published this course, nobody can see it. So it doesn't really matter that I can play around with this, look at it in admin view, and then when I'm really happy with it, then I can publish it. But I don't publish it until I've done that. And in fact, we took out all of the course blocks on the site. So even if I publish the course, I've got to be careful because it can get listed on Google, all right? But if you just publish it to check it for an hour or two, and then when you log off, just make sure you unpublish the course. That way you can just avoid maybe Google or other search engines finding the course and listing it, okay? But as we know, we haven't set up a pricing plan. So until you set the pricing plan up, no one can buy the course, all right? Because you'll get that warning message come up saying they can't buy it. All right. So I'm going to leave that a few seconds longer. This is why I used embed for these two videos. I shouldn't have uploaded this. It's just because it's a massive file. It's taken some time. So what I'm going to do next after this is we're going to upload this PDF. We're going to look at that. I'm going to show you how we can add other content to the media in each of the lessons, how we can actually do a download for people to download stuff. And obviously, like if you wanted to upload things like PowerPoint and those sort of things, you can just use the same method. So learning this, when you work with the sales pages, they work using Page Builder. So the stuff that you've learned in building your site, it directly applies to the sales pages. So there's no new learning when you're going through this. We've tried to keep things the same. And you'll find that when you do other parts of the site, like if you create a marketing funnel, it works in the same way. Use the Page Builder. Like things like automations, when you're automating emails to go out to people, it works in the same way in lives, in the funnels, inside of the courses. So you haven't got to relearn anything. Once you know it, you can kind of play around and you can get creative with it. And that brings me on to a note. I'm quickly going to tell you now, the next day with Zenler, I've got two kind of ideas. One is I might reach out to some of you guys that are experts in different areas and say, look, come on and join me. Do a little sort of 10-minute talk on a subject. It'd be really nice to see you guys interacting and being on the site as well. So I'm going to ask for that. And the other thing I'm going to ask for, or the other thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to do a sort of class on setting up some of the marketing things inside Zenler. So things like blogs, things like marketing funnels, like how to set up nice emails. So these kind of things, how to set up lives. So all the tools that we would use for marketing, I'm going to show you how to set communities up. So we're going to do that in the 6 hours next time. So this whole session has been about building a site, showing you real time how to build a site, how to build a basic course. So the next one is building on that. And we're going to look at the marketing tools, because remember, Zenler is marketing centric. So the whole site, everything to do with Zenler is built around the marketing side. So marketing is at the heart of Zenler, and that's what Zenler prides itself on. So it's good that I do a day session just showing you some of the tools and what you can do with those. Okay, good. So now you can see my thing is uploaded. It's gone in there. Now, if I click this, you're going to see it comes up like this. So if I click this, I'm not going to get anything. Okay. Now I don't want students to see this. I'm going to close this. So I would make sure that I draft it and I click save the changes. Okay. Now I'd obviously want to change this as well, because I probably want to put something similar to this. This title is taken from the video, by the way. So we're going to put that in there. And we're going to, on this particular occasion, we did a full site build on Zenler. So I'm going to click save. So when I finish this one, I would put it in as session 2, and I would go a full course build on Zenler and build it out that way. Okay. So I'm going to show you quickly now to how to put in a PDF. I'm going to run through some of these things. So I've got this on here. If I wanted to put a little bit of a description underneath this, I could come along. I could put another video underneath it if I wanted to. I could put audio. You can build them up on top of each other. But I'm going to drop some text in there. So I've gone into the text editor here, and I'm going to go, this lesson shows you how to build a site from scratch in no time at all. Okay, Now this is a WYSIWYG editor, so you can use all the WYSIWYG features. So if I go up here and just say this description, you know, I can come into there and I can go to my font size and I can change that maybe to 20, and description, that's good, isn't it? And then I could maybe make it bold as well. You know, if you wanted to, you could have links in here. So if I wanted to go to our YouTube channel, link to YouTube, I'd grab our YouTube link. Let me just grab it. There we go. I copy that, jump back into here, put this cursor over there, and I'm going to go into link and insert link, insert that in there, and I'll open it in a new tab so I don't lose them. I'm going to click insert, and we've got that in there. So I'm going to click save to that. I'm going to look at that, how that looks in the lesson. So you can see in here now we've built up a structure. So if I wanted to, I can move this, I can move it up and down. You can just drag inside here, just move it up and down. So I'm going to now look at this. We're going to go into the course curriculum page where this appears, and we're going to go to this one. And you can see it's in draft mode. The video is not processed yet, but look, we got the description underneath, unlike these ones that we did, which have got nothing underneath. So you see how you can build up your content. You could put multiple videos in there. Be a little bit careful with the amount of videos you put underneath each other, because it will slow the site down. Okay, if you can split them up into lessons, that's a better option. All right, guys, so I'm going to just stop it for now, and we'll continue uploading PDFs and downloads and showing you other features in the next part. But I think we've now got Kevin on, so I'm just going to check whether Kevin's appeared yet. Let me just start my video. So Kevin's not in here yet. Oh, look, got some strange stuff going on. Ooh, that's weird. All right, good. So I'll keep an eye out for Kevin. Maybe it's because I stopped and started my video. Weird. All right, so Kevin's not here yet, so I'm just going to show you the PDF. So again, we can do PDF. So I'm going to set another section up, and inside here, I'm going to call this compare. You don't need to do all capitals, by the way. Compare plans, free, pro, and premium. Okay, I'm going to click save. Okay, let's add our lesson. Let's go PDF of plans. Save. And now I've got my PDF here. Okay. So all I'm going to do, let's drag it over there, is go to my PDF, and I'm going to drag it from my other monitor. I've got two monitors. Guys, if you're doing this stuff a lot of video editing, this kind of thing, having multiple monitors is just brilliant. You can just put everything on that screen, concentrate on this, and just drag stuff across. So there we go. That's our PDF has just uploaded. That's how quick. So let's go and view this again. I'm going to jump into the curriculum page again, and I'm just going to refresh it in here. And we should have this new one come up. So I'm going to go into that. I'm going to click the PDF of plans. And we've got a lovely little box in there that you can zoom in and out of and go to different pages if you've got them. You can enlarge this on the screen and press escape to get out of it. And it shows you the pricing plan. So what I want to do now is jump in and show you how to do a download. So I'm simply, it doesn't matter what you're downloading, I'm going to right hand click this, and I'm just going to zip it up. So I'm going to go send to compressed folder. And by the way, guys, you don't need to do this, but I just do this. So I'm going to call this download. Okay. So I just download that basically. I'm going to come into there, and I'm going to go back into the same lesson, and I'm going to click download. And I'm going to drop that file in there and click upload. Oh, got to enter a title. Download the file and click start upload. And bang, it's appeared there. So let's have a look at it now. So I'm going to jump back into the curriculum, and I'm going to refresh it, and it should appear down the bottom here. So there we go. We've got the download zip file. So you can see we can upload zips, we can upload PDF files, and the way you do it is exactly the same for all the media types. Now, there is a little bit of, it works differently setting up quizzes, surveys, and assignments, but as these are sort of pro features, I'm not going to go into them. If you're not into SCORM and HTML, just stay away from this area, as well as the code area. If you're not used to that, don't touch those areas either. All right, guys, so let me just now see if Kevin's around. Where is Kevin? Oh, I know why he's not around. I need to send him the link. Whoops. Okay, that's trying to do too much. All right. So give me a second, guys, while I just get in touch with Kevin. He'll be on in a second. There we go. Okay, Kevin will be on. Pretty much now, I think. He's waiting. He's waiting patiently. There we go. Kevin's on. Hi, Kevin. Hello.
Hi, David. How you doing? You doing well?
Very good. Yeah, we're doing well. I'd almost forgot, and then I was like, oh no, I haven't sent you the link. But you know, these things happen, don't they? We're live.
It always helps when you get the link.
Were you waiting patiently, were you?
Yeah, I'll say yes, but I wasn't really. How's your build going? Is it going well?
Yeah, good. We're getting through it. So I've just got the pricing. It's quite a good time. We're easily going to finish before the 6 o'clock. So perfect.
Oh, perfect. Good. So do you want me to take over for 20 minutes, half an hour, and you can have a breather and a drink?
Brilliant. Yep.
So, all right, lovely. Thanks, David. So I'm going to jump in here at this point because it's quite an apt point where you've gone through with David. He's shown you how to build your site. You're getting into building your course. And to be honest, that's the beginning of the story. And this is where a lot of course creators start to become a little bit disenchanted with the idea of selling courses online, or where they start to get a little bit frustrated. And I want it to come in and, you know, it's a good opportunity for us to look at what we can do to actually start to fill our funnels, to start to market our sites and our business. And hi, Magda, good to see you. And how we can take it to the next stage, because we put a lot of effort into building what we build. We put our love, our heart, our soul into it, and we build our courses, and then we go, right, we're going to open the doors up, and then we get a lot of crickets and not very much happens. And then we decide, well, we need to get students in, but how do we get students in? And it becomes, when you look at digital marketing nowadays, which is what we're in essence talking about, it is a monster. There are so many avenues you can go down. There's so many rabbit holes you can go down. There's so many different techniques and platforms and funnels and systems and programs and trainings. It's just an overwhelm of what do we need to do. So the idea for me to come on today was really, if you've got questions regarding your digital marketing, then for your courses and for your site, then put them in, because I'm more than happy to answer them as I'm here. But I wanted to sort of outline a very simple plan that will help you to really get to grips with this quite quickly, that won't overwhelm you, that you'll find reasonably straightforward and quite actually enjoyable to implement. Because if you're not enjoying it and it's a job and it's a task and it's a drag, you're not going to do it anyway. So we have to have an element in it that we actually sit there and go, you know what, this is really good, it's fun, and we're getting results from it. And that's where I want you to think. Now, you have to remember, when we're talking about marketing, there isn't necessarily a one size fits all plan. And you'll take away some of the things that I'm talking about and say, yeah, that's brilliant, I want to do that. You'll say some of it, actually, that there's no way on this earth I'm going to do this. And hopefully by the end of the 20 minutes, half an hour, you're going to sit there and go, look, I get the process. I now have an idea of how I'm going to achieve that. And then you'll start to dabble into it. Now, there is one thing that there's two elements to digital marketing that you need to get your head around before you really do anything. And this is, if you don't do this, this digital marketing will not work for you. Marketing your site and your courses will not work. I absolutely 100% guarantee it. The first element is you need to understand your market. You need to understand for your, and I talk about this in the Launch Your First Course Challenge, I talk about it in the blogging challenge. You need to understand for each piece of marketing or sequence of marketing you create, who specifically you are targeting that towards. Now, you should be doing this for your courses, you should be doing it for your pages, and to a large extent, you should be doing it for your site. But more to the point, you should be doing it in your marketing, and it should all flow through really effortlessly. So the biggest question that comes up is, well, if I talk to this particular demographic, it means that that demographic won't get involved, which is untrue. They will get involved. You will pick up peripheral people. And there is absolutely no reason why in your marketing you cannot create different pieces of marketing for different demographics of client. So the first thing is be really clear before you create anything, who you're creating it for. And we've all heard the client avatar bit. We've all gone down ideal client stuff. This is not a new concept anymore. It was a new concept about 6 or 7 years ago. It's not new now. So we can understand. And if you don't know, the very easiest way to work this out is, if you're an established business, you've already got clients, look at your best client right now, the one that fills you with joy, the one that if you could replicate 1,000 times over, that would be who your first ideal client would be. That's the easiest way of looking at that. If you've not had clients yet, to an extent, you're going to have to try and imagine who they're going to be, but you can imagine them and follow it up with research. So I'm not going to delve into that massively. So that's the first point with digital marketing, is really understand the market for each piece of digital content you create. That's one of the golden rules. The second one, which is the one that everybody falls over on, is you need to market consistently. That's not a difficult rule to follow. It's not even a difficult rule to say, but it's very difficult to implement. People, you will find, tend to do the feast famine type of marketing. So they've got a reason to market. They want to sell something. They've run out of money for the next month. They've got no clients in the next month. If you're doing coaching stuff, you know, you've got a program you're launching, you go hell for leather to market your course, you get your people in, and then you go, right, I'm going to concentrate on delivering that. And then once that lot's been done, then you're back to square one again. Oh, I've got to market it, I've got nobody in, rinse and repeat. And it's draining, it's demoralizing, and it's something that doesn't need to happen. If you market your business consistently, here's what happens. The first thing is, if you're doing it via a blog and stuff like that, Google loves it, right? They like consistency. They don't like any of the social platforms, any of the search engines do not like erratic behavior when you're communicating. So that's the first thing to remember. So there's a practical reason behind this. The second thing is, your audience are not stupid. So if you suddenly start marketing stuff and you haven't done anything for 3 months, they know a come and buy my stuff question is coming up at the end of it. And therefore that doesn't exactly build goodwill with the people that you're connected with. So if we have a constant flow of marketing content, now this isn't, let's distinguish between marketing content and sales content. It doesn't have to be come and buy, come and buy, come and buy. It could be one of multiple elements of different types of content that you create. So it could be case studies, it could be awareness content, it could be engagement content, it could be research content, it could be authority content. There's lots that you can do, and you mix it up. So if you've got a steady flow of a combination of content going out, either on your blog, through your social channels or whatever it may be, then when you actually build a little flow of a build up to, oh, right, I need to get some people into this course, it naturally and seamlessly goes into the content that you've created, rather than what most people do, which is nothing, 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 let's go and sell, nothing, 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 let's go and sell. And that is really, really uncomfortable for everybody involved. So the 2 golden rules of digital marketing, which if you learn nothing else from me today, I really want you to get your head into, is understand each piece of content going to each demographic of client. So you can call it client avatar, ideal client, whatever you want to call those, that group of people. And the second thing is consistency wins the day. And that's been true for the 15 plus years I've been doing this. It will be true in the next 15 years. It's true in whatever we do. So consistency at whatever level that is for you, that could be putting 1 blog post out and 2 social media updates a week. It doesn't matter. That's what will benefit you and help you to create the engagement you're looking for. Now, let's focus this back into New Zenler. So you're here, you've built your site, you've built your courses. We have other areas of New Zenler we can use to help to market our business. So on our pages, David, I know, because I've seen, has shown you the SEO elements of your pages, which is brilliant. They do get indexed. We may need to give Google a little bit of a nudge on the indexing side and just resubmit sitemaps and stuff like that. But generally speaking, if you publish, you do your snippets, you do your images for social and for the search, and you put your descriptions in, then that's brilliant. We've also got our blogging area, which any of you that know me by now will know I'm a big fan of the blogging side. And it's a really powerful marketing tool for you. Now, let's leave social to one side for a minute. The blogging area, which is your area, it's on your site. You have full control of how that looks, the content you write, how long it lasts, how you organize it, and what you put there. And that's something that can't be ignored, because that firstly on itself will allow you to create content that serves your audience's purpose and your business purpose. So that's the first thing. Secondly, people like to read. So if you write good quality content, and if you've been through the blogging bootcamp that I run, you'll understand about writing, editing, cutting out the fluff, and then publishing, then you will get not only ranked in the search engines incredibly well, but you'll also get a growing following of people that are enjoying your content. Now, here's the first thing that we need to consider. When we create our pages and when we create our blog posts, we feel great. We've written some really good content. We may have spent maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. Some people I know that went through the challenge spent 3 or 4 hours writing their blog posts, and it came down over time. And we go off and we click publish, and then nothing happens. The reason nothing happens is because we need to actually start to instigate that whole promotional side of what we do. Now, this can be done by submitting into Google, like I suggested earlier, and we can do that. It should be done by looking at what other assets we have online and how we can utilize them to get people engaged with what we do. So, Robin, where do you find the blogging bootcamp? If you go to tutorial.newzenler.com, then you will see on the homepage there the 5-day blogging challenge. It's on as an evergreen course at the moment. I will run it live again this year. So if you want to go through it and have a look, but you want to go through it with a group live, then I'll be doing that later this year. It's not going to actually be that long. It'll either be August or September. So when we publish, we need to use our digital assets to help promote what we're doing, because we want engagement on there. We want people to interact with what we're doing. We don't just want to be preaching and broadcasting via our blogs, the same as we don't on our social channels. They're not there for us to just preach at people to say, this is what I'm saying and I don't care what you think. The whole purpose of it is to get a level of engagement where people get interested in the service or the product or whatever it is that you're doing. Now, you publish your blog post, we'll get it indexed by Google. That's great. That will start to bring some organic people along at some point. Never quickly. It could take 6 months before you really start to notice a difference within that, because blogging is a long game. It's not a quick fix. But you might have social channels that you're using. So, for instance, you might have a Facebook page that's quite engaged. You may have a Twitter account that's quite active. You might have a LinkedIn account or a LinkedIn business page that's quite engaged and that's building with activity as well. So we need to go off and we need to promote it. We need to take the snippet of our blog post, the URL, and say, look, I've just written this blog post. I'd love your feedback on it, etc., etc. Here's the link. Come along and let me know what you think. So we start to put out there the content that we've created. We start to get people from other areas online and bring them back into our blog. We can do it via email. So if you have an email list, I know some of you will have gone through that, then we'll email it out to people and say, look, I've just written this article. We're not selling anything. I've just written this blog post. It looks really cool. Thought it might be useful for you. You know, it's on how to keep dry in the English summer when it's hammering down with rain every 15 minutes and then it's blazing hot, which is exactly how it is right now. And we're just sending them over to that link. We're just constantly saying, go and have a look, go and have a look. This is useful information. What happens then is you start to build up some form of action going on your sites. And of course, when they're there, we help to navigate them around. So they'll have a look at your other pages. They'll naturally have a look at your courses. Your blog post will have a call to action in it. Now, this is one of the things that a lot of people I see miss off, or they overdo it. A blog post is really clear. A blog post has one purpose. It solves whatever it is you're talking about. It talks about one thing. It doesn't talk about millions of things. It doesn't go off on tangents. It's not like having story time, you know, where you go through 15 different chapters. It talks about one thing. And at the end of what it is you're talking about, you have one call to action. So that call to action could be, you know, you've just read about how to stay dry in the English summer when it's raining every 15 minutes. You could then say, go and have a look at this free ebook that I've read that says how to stay dry in the English winter. I don't know. I'm just making that up. So we have one relevant call to action that goes through. It could be, I've got a free module on this course. It's linked to this blog post. And you send them off to the sales page for your course. We're offering them something free, so we're escalating that relationship. We're taking them from, they don't know our site exists, so we may have took them from LinkedIn, for example, said, look, I've written this really great post, come and have a look. They've come to your site, they've read a really great post, they're interested. We then said, look, hey, here's something else. If you want to get a little bit more involved on this topic, here's a free lesson in my course. If you want to go and have a look and a look at that, we then get them to subscribe to the free lesson of the course. Once they've finished that one, we can then just set it so it sends off an email to them and fires them up and says, look, you've had a look at this lesson, you've marked it as complete in essence. Do you want to buy the actual course itself? Here's a coupon for 25% off. So there has to be a flow through your marketing. We can't just expect to build and sell, because it won't work that way. Now, one call to action is the important part. I see lots of people either doing no call to action because they're frightened to ask people, or doing multiple calls to action. Oh, here's my LinkedIn, share on LinkedIn, share on Facebook, share on Twitter. Please comment, please do this, please buy that, please go off and scratch this itch, whatever it is. It's far too many things. When it needs to be kept, and science and research has backed this up with a blog post, one call to action, exactly the same as a sales page. A sales page only has one call to action, which is why when you go off and look at a sales page format, it doesn't have sidebars with subscribe here and do this and read that blog and do all of that, because we only want them to do one thing. On a sales page, we want them to buy whatever the sales page is talking about. And the exact same thing should flow through the marketing that we do. We don't want to confuse people. If we give them too many choices, they take no action. Even if we give them 2 choices, they take no action. So we want them to do one thing. Go and get this free lesson. Go and subscribe to this opt-in. Read this next blog post. It doesn't matter what that one thing is, but that's what we need to focus on. So right from the beginning, let's say we've gone on to Twitter, written this article, just click this link and have a read. One thing. Come onto your blog post. Oh, here's a free lesson for you. Click this link and get your free lesson. Takes them to a sales page. Here's the free lesson. Subscribe for my free lesson. Just one thing. They're going to start flowing through and discounting themselves as they go along, or counting themselves in as they go along. And that starts to filter the process down. So it's really important to remember that. Now, sorry, I've got a load of notifications just pinging up on my site here. So when we're thinking about how we're going to market these, and as I say, I'm going to keep this really basic for you. Stick to a formula that you can use. So if you don't have a Facebook page, don't bother trying to build it from scratch while you're trying to build your course and build your site and all of that. But if you might have an active Twitter account, you don't have to be on every social platform to make good of this. You don't have to try and focus on every search engine that's out there to make it work for you. We can start off with just one funnel through to what we're doing. Remember, when we build our stuff in New Zenler, we've got SEO elements already inbuilt. It goes into our sitemap that auto updates. We can go off and take the URL of a blog post and submit it to Google Search Console and get them to index it for us, just to give them a bit of a nudge if you want to do that. It's not 100% necessary. It's a good way of making sure that we've just woken Google up to the fact that we exist. So I'd probably suggest that you might want to think about doing it, but it's not 100% necessary. The fastest way of doing it is to use a social channel you've already got that's active, but tell them you've done it. If you don't tell them, you can't expect to get people to come along. And it's as simple as that. Now, if you're starting from absolute scratch, you've got no social media channels, you've got no email list, you've got no domain authority, you've got no SEO presence, you've got absolutely nothing anywhere, then what I would suggest is this. We have a community here of 6,500 people, and David touched on this earlier, right? We have something in the blogging world called guest blogging, okay? So this means I will write a blog post, and let's say I'm a dog trainer and I deal with German Shepherds, and there's another person in the group that's a dog trainer that deals with Spaniels. Okay, so we're in the same sort of area. We've got linked businesses. We're both dog trainers. Yeah, I do German Shepherds, you do Spaniels. That's cool, that's fine. But we're both, our goals in life, we want to train dogs, specific breeds, and we want to train them to overcome maybe certain issues. So David's a dog trainer of a Spaniel. I'm a dog trainer of a German Shepherd, right? David's a dog trainer of a Rottweiler. I'm a dog trainer of a Spaniel, right? So I've got no audience. I've got nothing at the moment, right? I'm in this amazing New Zenler community. I've seen people writing blog posts. I've seen there's 100 dog trainers in here, right? All you've got to do is just reach out to them and just say, look, I want to write an article and I would like to publish it on your site. And in return, I would like for you to write an article as a guest blogger on my site and put it on my site. What then happens is they'll start to promote you out to their audience, and you'll start to gain authority and traffic over onto your site. Okay, so you're building content as you go along. Now, most decent people in the world will not be too worried that at the moment you don't have an audience, because they may be a little bit further forward than you. They might have a small audience, but they'll understand that if they help you now, then you'll be there for them in the future. It's working together online. Okay, that's quite common on how we do this. The other way to do it outside of the community is to actually just reach out. So reach out to dog training blogs that are already out there. Say, look, I see you're a dog training school based in Hampshire. I run a dog training school. I'm based in Dorset. I'd like to write this article. Your audience, there's clearly a need with your audience to tackle this particular topic. I know a lot about this. I'd really appreciate it if I could post an article on your site with a link back to my blog. Is that okay? So you contact the person. There's normally a contact form or contact details on there somewhere. Some people will ignore it and they'll go, no, cheeky so-and-so, I've worked really hard to get all of this, I'm not going to do that. Some people that are very enlightened in the world will go, you know what, actually, content can be tough to come up with new ideas and fresh ways of thinking. So if you're pretty good, let's have a look at what you've got. And if it's good, we'll publish it and we'll put a link back to you. Or they'll just say, no, we keep it all in-house. But generally speaking, most decent online sites that are creating content regularly are looking for people in their area that understand their audience, that want to come in. We've done it in Zenler. David's already brought in a branding expert, right? Because we don't have that skill set in the team here that we feel comfortable enough to go out and do an expert session on. We've also got the guy with the on-camera confidence coming on. So another skill set within the Zenler group that we've got, and I've got one coming in September that's going to be talking about fear of being seen publicly and all of this type of stuff. So we're doing it here. Yes, we're doing it on live streams and all of that, but we can do it in our content and our promotion, which goes out further afield than within our own area in our Zenler site. So that will start to build up your confidence. It will start to build up traffic coming to you. And by natural and organic process, what will happen is people will start to engage with what you want them to do. So they might come on and get your free things. So you start to build your list. They might come on and see, oh, on the bottom of your site, you've got your social channels there. Let's see what you're doing on Facebook. There's multiple ways it will start to grow for you. And then you're off the ball. You're off the zero. You're starting to move forward a little bit. Now, it does take work to source these people. If you've been around your industry for a while, you'll probably know some of them, and they'll want to help you if you're starting out, especially if you're starting out online and they respect you in the world that you're in. If you're completely unknown, people are curious. So providing you know your subject, you won't have too much of a problem. Now, of course, if you're already out there with rocking Facebook groups, Facebook pages, LinkedIn accounts, Twitter accounts, Pinterest accounts, Instagram accounts, all of that, YouTube accounts, then that's less important because you've already got an audience, but what you're trying to do is just get them come back to our area here that you're building right now. So as a quick recap, I think I saw a comment coming in. Too many things confuse people. Yes, it absolutely does. Thank you for all the great info. While following here, I read your email that came in, nothing to do with this live, but wanted to say good luck with Bones. Oh, thank you. Looking at your summer action to see if I can continue his recovery training. I'm a dog professional, and your story and the way you're trying to help your dog really touched me. There will be more updates on Bones and her story. She's in her second month of intensive training and stroke rehab because of stuff that happened to her. But anyway, that's another story. Okay, so just to recap before I hand back to David and overwhelm you with marketing talk. 2 golden rules. If you've done no marketing before or anything, understand what marketing content is going out to what specific section of your audience, ideal client, whatever you want to call them. All right. If you don't know who your ideal client is, if you've already got clients, look at your best one right now, because that's likely to be them. If you're brand new, you've got no clients at all, then just imagine what that would be like and just go off and see if they exist online. You can normally tend to find someone. So keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself with it. So that's the first thing. And secondly, consistency. Just make sure you stick to a plan. If you're going to put a blog post out once a week, do it once a week. If you're going to put an email out once a week, do it once a week. If your flow is put a blog post out on a Monday, put it out to your email list on a Tuesday to get them to come in, then do that. Schedule it, get a content calendar, get a book, it doesn't really matter what you get. And just look at that. Start there and then progress as you go along slowly. Remember, you're not going to set the search engine's on fire overnight. It doesn't happen. I don't care what anyone tells you. I've done it for too long. It's a long haul game. Doesn't matter how you do it. It takes time. Make sure your content is focused and engaging. If you don't get overwhelmed with the whole, it's got to have all these keywords in it. It's got to be structured like this and that, and search engines like this and search engines like that, blah, blah, blah. Lots of people will tell you that. The truth of the matter is search engines like blog posts that have one focal point of content or one focus piece for that, so they can see that as an authority piece of content. And when people search for it, you'll talk about what it is naturally. If you write your blog post naturally, and they will index you for that. So don't try and beat the Google algorithm stuff. It doesn't really work. And I'm sure SEO experts will come on here and tell me different, but I've done this a long time. And in my experience, you tie yourself up in knots, you end up destroying the flow of your content. It reads unnaturally. The human being looking at it goes, oh, that's horrible. Why have they repeated that 3 times in like 4 sentences? It just doesn't work. You write for the reader first and foremost, and then Google now has got quite smart, and it knows that's what it wants you to do. And it only wants to deliver good quality, clear, concise content that solves whatever the searcher is looking for. Okay. So keep it clear, keep it concise, keep it on point, and have fun with it. Because when you start doing this, as we found in the blogging challenge, you almost, I call it sort of writing therapy. You'll discover so much about your course, about your ideal client, about the way you communicate online, about what your offer is, about what your expertise is, about actually who and what it is you're trying to achieve. Even in 5 days, we had people going, wow, this is just amazing. I'm going through and I'm like, actually, I didn't like that bit, or I forgot about that bit and I really enjoyed this bit, or this bit really, you know, made my heart sing, etc., etc. And it really helps shape what you're doing. And sometimes you'll write a blog post and then you'll delete it and you'll go, you know what, that really helped me, but I'm not publishing that, because it's just helped you unlock something in your own mind that has been playing on your mind. You haven't really got it out anywhere. It's not something you maybe not want to publish, but you just want to get it done. You get it out, you write it down, and you go, right, delete, I'm not doing that. So it really helps you in the development of your business, the ideas, the focus, and where it's going to go. And you won't even realize this until you're 5, 10, 15, 20 posts in, and you'll go, you know what, that was a really good experience. You know, I really enjoyed that, and then I'm going to carry on. If it's difficult, if you're finding it really hard, it's because you're putting too much pressure on yourself to get it right. With blogging, follow the simple rules. 1 call to action, 1 focal point for a blog post. It's not difficult. Yeah, just work out what that's going to be, and then construct your blog posts around it. And once you've done that, you don't have any pressure. You know, we like to have a depth for content. It gets a bit excited if it's sort of 400 or 500 words plus. It likes it. It doesn't like short form content. It feels there's not enough quality behind it. But by the same token, we can't fill it with a load of fluff. So if you read it and you're just repeating yourself and it's a bit of a nonsense and you're going off at a tangent, then get rid of it and add more quality into it. So it won't like it if you fluff with what you're doing and trying to just stack it out and fill it out to hit 500 words. Go back, rethink. And if it's a topic that doesn't actually warrant a 500 plus word blog post, then bin it and come up with another idea. If you're sitting there writing 10,000 words and you're sitting there going, you know what, War and Peace is shorter than this blog post, then actually you need to think about, is it really a blog post or is it something deeper? Perhaps it's an ebook that you've created without even realizing it. Perhaps it's a white paper. Perhaps it's a series of blog posts where you can interlink them and put them through. There is something called an epic blog post. I've done a webinar on this before, and you don't really want to do these too often because they're pretty hardcore. But if it's hitting the sort of the 10, 15, 20,000 words plus on a blog post and you've just really got into the flow of it, you need to consider, actually, would I read this if I was a human being coming along to this that maybe was just feeling out what I was about? And that's the question you've got to be honest with yourself and ask, because if they don't get to the end of the blog post, what's the point? There is very little point. The search engines will probably feel a little overwhelmed with a post that long, dependent on how you construct it, but that would be more advanced. If you're starting out, aim for the 500-600 word mark, keep it clear, take the pressure off yourself, enjoy the process, set your schedule, be consistent, and just write as if you were sitting with that person opposite you, as if it was a conversation, and then it will flow lovely. You'll ask them to do one thing at the end of it, and normally I would say that's something you're going to offer them as a next step, but the next level of commitment, as in, would you like to get this ebook? Would you like this free course? Would you like to join me on a free webinar? Would you like the free first lesson in this particular thing I've created? You know, providing it flows through with what the topic is. And then remember, promote. So promote it out to your email list, promote it out to your social channels. If you've got active social channels, ask your friends in business to promote it out. Do a guest blog, maybe even link back to that post if it's an associated one. There's loads of ways of doing it, but just work your own flow out and start simple. Once you've started simple and you're starting to see results, you can build on it. And then that takes you to the next step, which we're not going to talk about today because I don't want to overwhelm you. But hopefully you found that useful. So you're going to look at that, Mary. Excellent. Trying to get away from Mailchimp. I have an opinion on Mailchimp, but for politeness sake, I'll keep it to myself. But yeah, if we do have an integrated email system in Zenler, of course, we can build lists, we can tag, we can filter, etc. We can do many things, and I know over time it's going to get better and better. We do have automations and sequences throughout the courses, and I'm sure David's touched on some of these. Is it as advanced as something like Confusionsoft, as I call it, or ActiveCampaign? No. But you've got to weigh up the pros and cons for yourself. If you want an all-in-one system and you don't want to learn a more complex system, the new Zenler email system does what you need it to do. It really is as simple as that, and it's included in the cost of the pro version of new Zenler. If you want to start creating really fancy funnels and automations and tags and deals and all of this type of stuff, then we're not there right now with the system. It may well come at some point, but any dedicated system that focuses on one element is always going to have more complex features behind it than an all-in-one system. That doesn't make it better, that just makes it different. So you've got to work out how critical are those extra bits to what you actually need to achieve. Is it critical? Is it worth the learning curve? Is it worth the extra expense? Or can you do without it and work a way of using the system that's in new Zenler to achieve a similar result? And my feeling with it, a lot of it is, if you're brand new, especially if you're brand new to the online world, the new Zenler features that you have save you a heap of money, because you've got the funnels, you've got the web stuff, you've got the blog stuff, you've got the live stuff, you've got the webinar stuff, you know, you've got the courses stuff. You don't really need much else to get you going. You know, yeah, you can go off and you can get you know, Webinar Ninja or Demio or something like that for webinars, which only do webinars, and yeah, of course they're going to have a gazillion extra features in there. But to get you going, do you need all of that? Are you actually going to use it? I don't know. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But if you're on a budget and you need a marketing machine as well as somewhere to deliver your courses, then Zenler can cope with all of that for you as it is right now, as an all-in-one. And a year ago, I wouldn't have said it's an all-in-one because there were features missing. But as we sit here right now, you know, I look at it and I think to myself, the thousands of pounds I spent when I started online, not only just looking for the different components to put together, but then I'd get one and I'd go, actually, now I've got it, I don't really like it, or I find that difficult, or I look at it, I pay for a yearly license, the yearly license comes up for renewal, and you've spent 1,200 quid on it, and you go, actually, I didn't really do any webinars that year. That's a waste of money, isn't it? Whereas with this, it doesn't matter if you do a webinar or not. If you do, brilliant. If you don't, well, it's just one element of the complete platform. So you get it anyway. So it's up to you to choose on that. But yeah, Mailchimp is one of them. It's an interesting one for sure. Cool. Well, I've overwhelmed you all with this, and we've not had a lot of questions coming in. I've been talking for nearly 40 minutes, so I'm going to shut up now.
No, that was brilliant, Kevin. Also, like, the other thing is a really key note that you mentioned there, and this goes with not just blogs, any kind of content, is you should write it from your heart. You know, you shouldn't be basing content on keywords, because like Kevin said, if you start dropping loads of keywords in it, it just sounds robotic and it sounds like you're selling. And the thing with Google is it likes you, you know, it's trying to get genuine. It's not looking for salesy things. It's looking for genuine copy, original copy with good content in it. And that's what it's working towards. So if you stick with that, it doesn't matter which algorithm they come up with, you're always going to be good. You're not doing it for the search engines. So I thought that point alone was brilliant, you know, and
Yeah,
especially the blog post.
It is one, and I'm glad we don't have this on New Zenler. You know, you go over to WordPress and you've got things like Yoast SEO, and I have clients come up and go, I've written this blog post and I've got now a green light. I'm so happy. I'm like, actually, how does your content read now you've managed to manipulate it to get a green light? So they go off and they read it and, well, you know, it sounds okay. Well, take this, this, and this out. You've now dropped down to a yellow light. How does it read now? Oh, that's much better. It's much more friendly. So people get hit up on the, I've got to get a certain number or a certain color in my traffic lights because they think, oh, it's going to help me in Google. But it's sort of, it's a bit misleading. If you don't really know how it works properly, it can lead you down a path that isn't really helpful for you.
Yeah, for sure. You get this, a question that comes up all the time is like figures, like exactly how many keywords should I put in there? You know, it's like exactly how many times should I put the related topic in the post? Exactly how many times I should put this in there? And it's like, hold on, guys, write the article, make it sound good, then work it around it. And then check it. You know, you've got things like Google Analytics. You can check your page rankings. So you can check it, you can make a change and then look at it in a month's time and see whether you've gone up, gone down, what the traction is on it. And like you said, you know, it's not all about search engine page results. It is like you've got to get it out there. You've got to be sharing it with other people in your niche, you know, because these backlinks that are coming in, if they're from a related topic, Google will know it and it will push you up. And sharing content as well. A lot of sites like are dying for content. So you can get content and they're dying to put it on there because they have to pay for it otherwise. You know, they're just getting it free. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. And I think, you know, it's one of those things that people do feel there's a massive pressure on them to do stuff like this. And there really doesn't. You just have to be natural, as if you're having a conversation. Even the numbers in the Google analytics and stuff like that are to a large extent irrelevant, and half the time they're not 100% accurate. Remember that, because people go in cloaked windows, they stop trackers, they do all sorts of things. So you could have 3 different ways of monitoring how many people have read a blog post and you'll get 3 different lots of numbers. You know, they're not 100%. What is really 100% is the interactions that you get. So if you're sharing it in a Facebook group or page and people comment on it and there's a comment coming through, and I know we don't have comments natively within the New Zenler blogs just yet, but if people are taking the action, you know, that's how we can monitor that. You know, you've written a blog post, you've had 5 people that week sign up for your lead magnet. Well, you know, that's 5 people that have really engaged with your content. Does it matter if 1,000 people haven't? Not really. What matters is the 5 that have. You know, so I think you need to focus on the actions people take more than, I've got X amount of numbers, because it becomes a vanity metric. Look at me, I've got a blog that has 5 million people come to it each week. Well, that's brilliant. How much money are you making? Well, nothing. Well, then to me, that isn't a very good blog. I'd rather have 50 people a week read it if I'm making an amount of money off of that, if that's my goal for what that is, you know, or 10 sign-ups a week rather than 10,000 people come along and 1 sign up, you know, because there is a cost to all of these things. So for me, it's all about the conversion. It's all about the people. If they really like what you're doing and you're doing well at it, at some point you'll start to see them to take that one action. And if you're getting people into your free lesson, or they're subscribing to something, or even if you're asking them to take the link and share it on their own social channels, that's, you know, that's still good, because it's still promotion out there. You know, it's still getting someone to help you get out your message with what you're doing, and bringing everyone back to your site, and ultimately it will be your courses, which is what we want. As going back right back to the beginning, you can't launch a course if you've got no marketing in place, because nobody will buy and nobody will know. So you have to think about how you're going to get people to understand you exist online. And what I've gone through is just one of multiple different ways that you can do this. I know David's a big YouTuber, you know, and it's something that we do here at New Zenler. We've built a YouTube channel that has increased people coming into the Facebook group. It's increased people getting involved in New Zenler, which is great. We've also got our Facebook group. Yeah, at some point, we're looking at doing possibly a podcast, you know, which is another channel to market out what we're doing here. So it doesn't matter whether you're just you with your course, one course, or whether you're a company like Zenler that has lots of users and lots of people involved in it. You still have to tell people regularly you exist. Otherwise, they won't know. And it's that's what marketing is in its basic form. Just letting people know that you are there. It's just how you do it is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'm running the marketing course. It's going into a lot of detail on things, but it's the same thing. It's like you just got to get it out there. We haven't got into a lot of the course has actually been like building people's confidence up. Actually, you know, trying to, and this is such a big one, just keep it simple, guys. You know, overcomplication of stuff, just it's crazy. It's like you haven't got a mark, you haven't got 1 sign up, and you're overcomplicating the whole thing. But I've got 300 courses already. Has anyone signed up and paid for it? No. Because you're just blasting it. It's like exactly what Kevin said, like in your blog post, like 1 call to action. You know, if someone goes to your site and sees 300 courses, they're going to be like, especially if they're different subjects, they're going to be confused. Oh, this guy's gathering courses from everybody, and they'll jump off your site and you won't get a sale. So it's like, even just unpublish all those courses and focus on 1, get that going, and then bring the next one in when you start getting people and build it up. Because it is a build up. You know, it's like me and Kevin have been doing this for years, as well as a lot of you guys, the more pros that have been doing this for a long time. Then you will have built things up, you know, you get it rolling, you get a push first of all, and then you start rolling, and then you can gain speed.
Let me just prove a point here. And it's an actual live point. So as I've been talking about this, somebody came in and commented about, where do I find the blogging challenge? Every single week on office hours, we go through the education slot on a Wednesday at 10 a.m. or 5 p.m. and we say, here's this masterclass bundle, here's this, here's the blogging challenge, here's the workshop area, etc., etc., etc. And we don't know when people come into our world. They might come in on a Thursday morning after we've said that. We don't know. So we have to repeat it. We have to constantly we can't put out a marketing message once and expect everybody ever, past, current and future, to see that message. We have to constantly be putting out there, you know what, and I'm happy to do this on here. Yeah, it's in the tutorial site. Go to tutorial.newzenler.com. I'm so sick of saying that address, but it's what we do. And we tell them every week on a Wednesday, this is how it works. This is how it operates. It's the rinse and repeat method. But you do it in your marketing as well. you can't expect people to see your message all of the time. You don't know if they've been with you 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 6 months, a year, 10 years. You just don't know. So you have to take it for granted that it's probably the first time they've heard this piece of information from you. It might be the first time they've ever heard this call to action from you. So you have to repeat it. So that was just a good live point that came up that I thought was quite apt.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got that on my clipboard. So I just like, I go on the Facebook post and I just like post it down. Okay, speed dial. It's like a speed dial thing, isn't it?
It is. And you know, there is a method to the madness. You know, and marketing is often covering some of the same topics, but in a very slightly different way. You know, because there's only so much you can talk about your industry for sure, before you go, well, what do I talk about now? But you know, so it is reframing, it is repositioning, it is going through from a different perspective, maybe sometimes, and all of that. But yeah, it's something that you should enjoy doing. It shouldn't be something that you sit there and dread doing, because it will never work. If you're sitting there and you've written 10 blog posts and you're dreading it, there's two things you need to do. Either one, get someone to write it for you, because you may just absolutely hate it, and some people do. Or two, look at some form of basic training and reevaluating how you're doing it, because you're probably not doing it in the right way if it feels that bad. You know, but don't carry on doing it just as you are if you're sitting there hating it, because it's not sustainable to do that.
Yeah, for sure. No, that was brilliant, Kevin. Thank you. I got
All right.
one more thing for you. Are you rushing anywhere? Can I ask you a
No.
question?
I'm still here.
I want to spring a question on you. If you guys were here on Monday, Kevin sprung some questions on me, so I'm just like, it's back at you.
Oh, cool. Go on.
Right. What would you consider the biggest hurdle for new course creators is?
What, for creating a course?
For actually getting a course out there and actually getting started, rather than leave the platform. Just, there's so many people that just sign up and then they don't use it, they play around with it a bit and then they just go off it.
Yeah, the biggest hurdle for them is fear, which is why I'm doing a masterclass on it in September. And that could be multiple fears. It could be fear of being seen. It could be fear of judgment for what they're doing. I know so many people that go, oh, somebody else in my industry won't like it if I put this out. They do it a different way. I'm going to get criticized for this, that type of thing. The fear of they'll put it out and nobody will buy it. So fear, it comes in many, many different forms when people are looking to put something out new, even just hitting publish to no audience. It's just, that's a brave step. It's a bit like when you decide for the first day you're going to open your business and you say, right, today I am self-employed, or today I am now this business. It's a massive step. And to put a course out, which is sometimes your knowledge, sometimes your experience, sometimes just your opinion, because it can be opinion as well, that's scary for people. And often course creators do it on their own. And I think that's quite hard sometimes. It takes a lot of confidence to do that. I like to think that if people in this community feel that way, that they could reach out to people in the community and not have to feel that way to get some support. You know, in the Launch Your First Course Challenge, that was one of the big things that we did, was we were looking to help each other and make everybody feel good about putting their stuff out there. Yes, you're going to feel a bit uncomfortable, but feeling uncomfortable is different to being frightened about it. And you should never feel paralyzed by the fact that of what people will say when you put your courses out. And some of you will be sitting there going, actually, I don't think that at all, which is great, because you're going to be the course creator that does churn, put it out and do really well. But there are a lot of people out there that I know that have a real skill and a real something good to teach, but the whole judgment side of it and what ifs and the, you know, the what will happen in if I do this, will this happen? And to me, that I understand it. I also think that if you fear every action or inaction that you take, you'll never do anything in life. And you have to be considered but brave. So if you're convinced that what you do is true to yourself, it's ethical, and it provides value to a certain audience, and they'll get what you promise as in the result of what that course is, then you should be able to walk out with confidence. If you're wavering on your own knowledge and you're not 100% sure that you're right about it, then maybe you need to wait a little bit and decide when you are 100% that it's right to put it out, because that might be what that fear is. It's an early warning sign. I don't know many people that's happened with, though. Normally it's people are scared of what will my peers think. You know, I know lots of people in this world. If I put this out, will they think I'm copying them? Will they think that I do it a different way? Will they judge me for this? You know, but ultimately it's your business, it's your course. You know, they're not paying to put a roof over your head or anything like that. And if it's genuine what you're teaching and it's true and it's ethical, then why shouldn't you teach it? I don't need to agree with it, because I'm probably not someone that will buy it. But if there are people out there that want to buy it, you know, in the marketing world, we get it all the time. I put marketing courses out. Some people absolutely love what we do. You know, they've been fans of ours for 10 plus years. They'll buy every single thing I put out. Other people come along and go, that's a load of nonsense, and we're going to go off and do it this way. And I'm like, okay, that's brilliant. You know, you can't please everybody out there looking for your service, you know, but what you can do is get them to make a choice. And the ones that come with you will love what you do and support you, and you will support them. The ones that are not your people, that don't get you or get the way that you teach, that's fine. They can go off and find another person to learn from, because everybody in every industry will have different styles.
Yeah, I think that's it. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, everyone has different styles. But I think like the most important thing is just to be genuine. If you try and be fake, it really will come across, even in your writing, even in what you're doing. You know, if I was wearing a baseball cap and giving it all this, then, you know, you would know it was fake. That's not me. I can't do it. You know, you can't hold it up for long enough. So if you can be genuine to people and connect, there we go. No, you look quite good. I think you can pull it off. So just be yourself. And yeah, I like, you know, the other thing, Kevin, is like just trying things out. I love trying new things out, seeing how they gel with people, not on camera, but like with courses, maybe doing a different kind of blog post or article and seeing the response you get. It can be quite, you know, trying things out. It's your business, and hopefully you should love what you're doing. You should be very motivated by it. And if you are motivated, it will come out. I mean, personally, I don't know how you feel about this, Kevin, but I would never do something that I didn't love to do, because it would show. I have a lot of opportunities. Like from my job, I do website design, coding. Would I do a course on it? No, because it's a job and it kind of like bores me now. I've been doing it so long. I do creative stuff because I'm filled with enthusiasm. So I can't pull off doing teach how to do WordPress or do coding, because unless it's in short chunks like ninja tricks, I couldn't do it. How do you feel about that? About how you feel about what you're doing?
Yeah, I think I agree. You know, lots of people, especially, I mean, we're talking about the world of people that choose what they do for a living. This is different to being employed. So most of the people that will be in the Zenler in the community will do what they do because they do enjoy it. It is one of those things. It's not just a route to earning a bit of cash or freedom. I would hope. So I think you're absolutely right. They're going to create courses because it is something that they enjoy. If it's an element that you feel is going to earn you a lot of money and you're competent in it and it is part of what you do, because even in marketing, there are elements of marketing I don't particularly like. I'm good at them, but I don't particularly like them. I've done courses on them, and I've delivered them because it's what's been asked. Have I felt great about them? Not particularly. But then I also see the results that I get from the courses that I really do like, and the results are a little bit different. So I think I agree with you. And I think it also takes a maturity as a course creator. I don't mean an age thing. I mean an age as a course creator, to understand what you want to put out and how you want to do it. And that will grow over time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite funny how as a course creator you go off in different avenues.
Hmm.
And you're like, how did I get on this route? I'm enjoying it and I'm making lots of money, but I meant to do that.
Yeah.
It's strange how you kind of move around. I guess you've had it as well, Kevin, with that.
Yeah, you do. A lot of it is, when you start out, you will find people that will stay with you throughout what you're doing. So somebody said that they're into dog training on here that's watching live. You'll find someone that will buy your first course for dog training. They'll really love what you're doing, and every course you put out, they'll buy. They'll follow you around the internet. They'll subscribe to all your lists. They'll, follow you on Facebook. They'll probably become quite close as a person. You'll get to know them, especially when you're starting out, because every sale, you're like, who's that? Who's that? Do I know them? Where do I know them from? How have they found me? Because the numbers are quite small normally. Yeah. As you get more established in, for example, I put a course out 2.5 weeks ago. We've had 800 registrations on it. There's no way that I know 800 people. I couldn't do it. So it changes over time, but I still look and recognize some of the names. And I go, yeah, they've been with me. And I look back and yeah, they've bought sort of half of everything we've done. So they help you shape it as well. So the people that come in at the beginning with you will help shape it. Wouldn't it be great if you, and they do it in New Zenler, wouldn't it be great if you did a workshop on this, David? Wouldn't it be brilliant if you could do that? Do I want to do that? Does it fit with the objective of what we're doing here for New Zenler or in your own world? Can I do it? Probably. Do I need to get someone in to help me do it? Which is always an option. We've done this many times in our courses where we needed a mindset element to a course. And we've got clients that we train one-to-one that do mindset stuff. So we're just like, look, do you want to come in on this course with us? And you can do a module in the course on mindset. It works. So if your heart isn't singing in a piece of a course that you're creating, get someone in that it does. Do a joint course. There's no reason why you can't do that, even as a paid course. I've got a guest expert in. They know more about, how to cut the toenails of a rabid German Shepherd than I do. So I've brought them in on this element to help you.
Yeah, it's also networking as well then. So you're networking with other people, they're getting money, then you can do stuff on their course as well, and suddenly Absolutely. It evolves. I was saying earlier, Kevin, I think it's a good idea to maybe do a post once a week on people write down what they do so they can connect with each other. I don't know how we'll do it yet, we'll have to talk, but it would be good for people to connect in their particular niches and hook up in some way to form like mini little super groups, just in their little sectors, and see how that kind of goes, because it could be really good for them, for the more experienced people and for the less, new people coming in.
Yeah, we could probably work something out, couldn't we?
Somehow.
Yeah, sort of like little groups of industries, if you like, that could be quite cool. So if we've got a lot of web people in here, they can all sort of understand that's what they do, and start to form collaborations and things. That would be quite good. Yeah, I'm just thinking how we would do that, and how perhaps we need to do a poll of how many industries we've got first, because if we've got like 500, that could take some managing. If we've only got 3 and all we've got is web designers, dog trainers, and knitters, we're good, But if there's 500, I'm not so sure I want to manage that.
We'll figure something out, but I think it could be quite good, because it's like I was saying, like we've got we got over 6,000 Facebook members now. That's like a market, and it's a safe market because it's in the group. So you can send out your promotions. You can say, look, have a look at this. What do you think? What do you think of my site? What do you think? We've got Wow Wednesdays. You can put it all down there and ask people's opinions, and you get market research that costs thousands. You've got the people there, and you've got questions that come from it, like, how did you do that? It looks fantastic. So you've got it all here, and we're only using a small piece of it, really.
Yeah, there has to be a way of doing that, and I think as our community here in Zenler develops, I think this will be something. I think it's definitely something to consider, and the team to have a bit of a brainstorm on to see how do we do that. It might be that we create communities on the tutorial site. I don't know. That could be an option. it might be that we keep them in the Facebook group and have split off sort of there. I don't know. But yeah, I think definitely for the future, it makes sense, especially from a testing point of view as well. And I know that you talk about this all the time, testing, test everything. You know, when you're building your stuff, you sort of get a bit blind to it, especially typos and just basic mistakes. You just naturally skirt over it. Yet to have someone in your industry that you can trust in a safe environment to say, actually, that's a mistake, or you've got that back to front, or, you know, that doesn't make sense in this world, I think would be a good idea. So
Yeah, good.
yeah.
And also it'd be a first. No other platform is doing that. So
No, they're
again,
not. But I do think the community element is important, and I think it's something that Zenler, we work really hard on to make sure that we support you all as much as possible. And I see you supporting each other. It's just how can we make that more useful for you? I suppose is the question we need to answer. And having groups of people in industries probably could work. Maybe the area needs to be a bit bigger than maybe dog trainers, and put it out to animal trainers, so we can have horse trainers, elephant trainers, monkey trainers, I don't know, cat trainers, whatever, and widen out the categories rather than worry about the individual categories. Maybe that would work.
yeah, main sectors. Yeah, we'll have a talk about it, but it could be something.
Yeah.
Like to brainstorm. We're brainstorming live on Zenler. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Robin, I'm glad that you like that idea. It's certainly one that, you know, and this is what we talk about all the time, David and I. And, you know, we talk about this on Wednesday when we do office hours. We talk about it in there. We're very responsive to new ideas on how to drive this forward for you, for people that are using New Zenler that want to grow with us. Because New Zenler is growing. There is no doubt about it. It's getting bigger. It's getting better. At some point, it will go out of beta. It will go live. The team's getting bigger. And of course, our communities are getting bigger. And we want to keep that connection with you all to say, well, what do you want? What's going to be useful for you in the future? And if we can implement something like this when we're still only 6,000 or 7,000 members in it, it would be easier than if there was 50,000 members in it. You know, because that's sort of where we're heading. So we are quite responsive to it, but it's got to make sense all round. One, can we manage it as a team, this side of things, because everything needs looking after by someone. And two, what's the benefit to the people in the community? People going to use it? Do they want it? Is it just that we've come up with the idea, but you all think it's rubbish? I don't know. I can see the benefit of collaborating, but I know some people don't like collaborating. They feel there's competition. I don't really understand that, but some people feel that way. So there's got to be a balanced view on it. So if people want to put suggestions forward, then by all means do so, because we are open to talking about it. And if it makes sense, we'll just do it. You know, it doesn't take 50 weeks to sit there, think about it, do risk assessments and all of that. We don't have to do that. We can just go, right, we'll do it next week. It's as simple as that, if it makes sense. But what we won't do is knee jerk into doing something without really thinking it through. There's got to be a really strong reason to it, because we don't want to go, yeah, we're going to split all these groups up, and we tell you we'll do it for a week and then go, actually, that didn't work. We want to commit to it to make it work. A bit like office hours, when we first suggested that, I think people thought we were nuts. And the first sort of 2 months we did it, we had virtually nobody on there. Hardly anybody ever showed up. There was hardly any questions. And as a team, we were sitting there thinking, you know, well, what are we going to do? Is this worthwhile? And this is another good point. Consistency is the key. But we still turned up every single Monday, didn't we? Every week. Yeah. We did it on our schedule. Then it was 3 different time zones we did. But and then suddenly we hit one, and we suddenly got 30 or 40 people on live. And we're like, oh, this is quite good. And then suddenly we were looking at the replays, and it's like, oh, 600 people have looked at the replay in the last week. And it suddenly just kicks in. And although we might not get thousands of people live with us, people do reference back to what we talk about in office hours. They know it's there. Some people do come in and join in. Some people always watch the replay and comment. But everybody knows that it's available for them, because we've done it for over a year. every single week. We haven't missed a week. So the consistency behind it paid off. So yeah, we need to make sure if we're going to do it, we're going to stick with it for at least a good period of time to give it a good go, but it's got to make sense.
Yeah, it needs some thought, but we're getting good, good feedback on that. We're obviously going to have people watch this after on the replay, so put that down as well. If you have any thoughts on that, or you think it's a good idea, let us know, and we'll look at that and we'll make an assessment. But I think it would be good because you guys can really, you can get better rankings, things like that. You can actually make money with each other, form close knits with your peers that are in the same niche. There's so many good things that could come out of this, and get to know each other. You're all over the world. If you go on holiday next, you can meet up, so it's all good stuff.
We could do that now. All the restrictions have been lifted in the UK. Perhaps we need to have a new Zenler conference in London. We talked about this. We were joking about this the other day, weren't we?
What about in Bali? We should have one in Bali. They got good surfing in Bali.
I wonder if the new Zenler team will pay for you and me to go to Bali. Well, they can't now, can they? Because they've ordered you a white T-shirt, so I probably couldn't afford it now. But yeah. But no, maybe there is something where we do, there may well be at some point in the future new Zenler conferences where we do 1 or 2 a year. Maybe, maybe one would be in the US, maybe one in the UK, somewhere else in Europe. I have no idea. Who knows? ClickFunnels do it. And, so why not?
Yeah,
anything
will happen at some point.
We can think about it.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. Be able to see us live.
Beth saying a conference would be fab.
All right, Kevin, I better get on now, but thank you so much for
no problem at all.
Yeah, sharing your thoughts there. So that's Kevin for you. So thank you, Kevin. Big thank you to Kevin.
See you later.
Get on now with 45 minutes left to just finish this course off. Lovely. All right. Okay, guys. Right. So carrying on from where we are, we're not too far off finishing really. So it's all good. You saw how we can easily add downloads. We can add our PDFs. Now, exactly the same thing applies for like our PowerPoint presentations, like text we put in there and code. So this is a basic course. So I'm not going to go through every single little thing, but you get the idea. So I'm going to just stop my video so my head doesn't appear in the corner. And we shall carry on. So we say we are now happy and we have our course curriculum set up. If I go into there and it's finished processing, which it hasn't yet, let's pretend it has finished processing. I take that off of draft and I save that. At the moment, our course is not published. So you're going to see here that we have published course. Now I'm going to flick quickly to, let me just close these pages down so that they don't get in the way. I'm going to flick quickly to the site because I want to show you what's happening. Okay, so inside the site here, we have nothing telling us about the course. Okay, there's nothing because remember, we removed the all courses block. So we definitely want to put that back in there. So I'm just checking the live stream to see whether it's okay. That's good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the block in there, but I need to publish the course first. Now, remember, our course has no pricing in it yet. So at the moment, the course will go in there and they'll be able to click onto it, go through to the sales page, but you're going to see they're not going to be able to click through to anything. So let's do that. Let's publish the course first of all. And remember, we haven't set up the pricing. I'm going to click publish course. And now we're going to put the block into the page, which we removed in the first session. So I'm going to go into pages and I'm going to go and put that course block, and you can put this course block onto any page. We're going to go in and we're going to edit that home page that we've got here. So this is for logged out users, this page, I think. Am I right? Yeah, I think so. And then we have a different page for logged in users. So you might want to add the block to the logged in users as well. So it's going to come up in a second and we're going to drop in the dynamic block. And now we've published that course that will appear in here. So let's go and do it. Let's go to blocks. Let's go to our courses, which is here. And you're going to see we have different ones. We have dynamic. They're all dynamic, actually. And you're going to see that this top one gives you a category and a filter, a search filter along the top there. And this one is just a static one that hasn't got any search. And we have my courses. This is for the my course page. Remember when you log in, you get my courses come up. That's the block for these. So there's two different types. There's an actual featured course as well. So this is the block I'm going to use, all courses. I'm going to drag that into here. Now what you're going to see, because we published the course, is it will appear. So there is our course in there, automatically done. So I can save it now. And I would probably put this into logged in users as well. So I'm going to do that quickly as well. So I'm going to go to the platform. We're going to go back to, is that the right one? Welcome, that's welcome copy. Okay, so I'll just put it in here. You're registered on the site. There we go. So I'll flick this up. This is why it's good to sort of have a little test around to see. You can imagine it, you'd like those two pages. So I'm going to make sure they're the same pages. So when they drop in there. So we got that in there. I've saved that. So that's going to be our normal page now. And we're going to go into this one, which is the sign in page. And then we'll look at it and you can see what happens. So I'm going to go to blocks again. I'm going to go to courses. I'm going to grab this block. I'm just going to drop it in there for now. Again, guys, you can go over these blocks. You can format them, change the colors, move the position up and down. It's up to you. Go into that. I'm going to now check this out in the site. So I'm copying this. I'm going to go into incognito mode and I'm going to paste it in there and hit enter. And straight away now we have our page. I'm not signed in, by the way, but we have all courses. So if I sign in using, because I registered, then I'm going to get the blue one come up, yeah, which is that one. And we're still going to have the all courses under there. So even registered users are going to see this. So let me go back to incognito. So let's go into this. So pretend I haven't signed up for anything. I'm not registered on site. I can now click in there, all courses, and it's going to take me to the sales page. But look, I've got this writing at the top. This course is not open for enrollment. You could write that in there as well. So they can see the content, but they can't buy anything. You'll see that course pricing, there's nothing under course pricing because we haven't set a price up for it. But it does mean that people can see the course. So you could publish it, let people have a look at the site, the sales page, and then they can decide later if they want to come back to it. You'll notice the buy this course button, if I click it, it's going to say get in touch and take you to support page because there's no course, because the course hasn't been priced. So that's a fallback. It takes you to that support page. So let's now go and put a price in there now. So say we're happy with it and we want to put a price in there for this. Okay, so I'm going to go to courses. Just before I do that, I'm also going to test it as a student. All right. So if I go to all, remember this email that we put in there earlier when we tested registering, we can use this to plug it straight into the course so we can see the course and we can get access to the course access page. So I can easily edit this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete it out and show you to manually add a user. And then I'm going to show you how you can edit and add them to the course. So if you want to manually add a user and not go through any of the registration forms on the site, you can do it. So I'm going to delete myself out. I'm going to click OK. And then I'm just going to add myself as a user. So I'm going to go into there, add as a user, and I'm going to put my name in here. And I'm going to put my email in here, which is, I've got to just grab my email and paste it into there. I want to choose a user role and it's going to be a student. Okay. You can manually set a password if you want to, so you can do that in there. So I'll choose something like that for now. Remember, you would never show this information to anybody. And I'm going to leave all the rest like this. But you can also say, you can select a course to enroll your student into. So I could select this. I haven't got a pricing plan. I can also send a notification, so I'm going to turn it off, and I can also send them into a funnel, where we haven't talked about funnels, so don't worry about that. So now I'm just going to click add. So now you're going to see I'm a user, I've come up in there. If I go into the edit for this and we go under courses, you're going to see that I have added myself to the course, even though I haven't got a pricing plan. So that's a way to get around it. So now I have added myself, I could actually just go into incognito, and I should get that course come up under my courses, because it's as if I've purchased it. So I'm going to go into incognito mode, and I'm going to put in a day with Zenler there, and I'm going to log in under this. I think that password was that, and I'm going to log in. Hopefully. Bugs in the system. Okay, there we go. I'm in. So now I'm in a student. So I'm as if I'm a student. So if I go into my courses, I'm now going to get the course come up. So if I click on the course, I'm now going to go to the course access page, where I can now test this out as a student. So I can go through it. I haven't got a pricing plan, but I can test that it all looks good, go through the course, and that's all good. So let's now set up a pricing plan for this. So I'm going to go back into me as a student, and I'm going to unenroll myself there. So I'm going to click yes to unenroll. So now I'm unenrolled from the course, and so I can re-sign up for it if I want to. So let's go to the course and set up pricing. Now we already looked at the pricing a little bit, and just before I set the pricing up, I need to make a point to you. You need to go into site, and you need to go into integrations, and you need to make sure that you've set up your Stripe account in here. Okay, that's really important. Otherwise it will not work. You can't set up a pricing plan unless you've got that integration set up for Stripe. If you're using a free account, if you're using the Pro and Premium, you can set up Razorpay, PayPal, and Stripe. So I've got that set up, so I know I can set up pricing. So if I go into pricing, add a new price plan, we're going to call this a one-off time purchase. So we're going to go into here. You're going to see it's going to go blue around the outside, and we're going to click next. And inside here, we can set what type of currency we want to take. So I'm going to choose British pounds, and I'm going to say a one-off purchase of £100. So it's £100. Any content I add to it, they're going to get for that price. And you can give a name to this as well. So one-off pricing we'll put in here. You can also put a description. Pay once for all content. Okay. This is the button text for buy now. Okay, so you can change that if you want to. You can add bullets. You can set availability. Tiers, this is for setting up different sections to be open to them with tiers. Again, that's in the complete guide. And you can also assign them to a community if you set one up as well. So let's click finish to this. And now we have a pricing option. So if I went into a day with Zenler again under incognito, you're going to have the option now to go through to this. You're going to see it says £100. And if I click through and I go down to the bottom, you have now got a pricing. So you can buy this. So now this is open. I can go buy now, one-off pricing. I can go and put my card details in there, and I can buy that course and go in there. Okay. So let's have a look at some other options that we can have. You can have multiple pricing options for a course. So you don't just have to have one, you can have a few. This might be, if this was a high ticket item, I mentioned this in session 1, but if I have a price of £1,000 for this course, I might want to do a payment plan of 4 payments of 250 or 255 because it's a payment plan. So let's do that. Let's just set that up at 200. Pretend this is 1,000. So I'll actually change it. I'll go edit in here. Really easy to change it, guys. Put that to 1,000. Click update. That course is now worth £1,000. And we're going to click add new plan. We're going to come to payment plan this time and click next. And I'm going to put into here 255. I'm going to say installments. I want 4 of them. They're going to be billed monthly. You can change all of these settings in here. And we're going to come into here and I'm going to put 4 payments. Okay, buy now, that's all fine. Set that up however you like. And we're going to click finish. And now we have this. So we have 4 payments of 255. So let's look at the course again, have a look to see what we've got. Let me just refresh. Come into the course, buy this course. And now we have 2 payment options. One, you can buy it for 1,000, or you can do 4 payments of 255. You also have these options on the page. So if I click buy now, you also be able to change it within here. So you can see the 4 payments comes out. It says 4 payments of £255 per month. So that is one-off payments and payment plans. Next, we have subscription. So if I click on new plan here and we go to subscription, there's quite a few things that you can do with subscription. I'm not going to go through them all. You can basically set initial fee for going into the course. This might be used if you're, say you're an artist site and you're selling a course, but you're going to sell a pack of pens or something, or canvases. You could set an initial fee and then post that to those people, or you might want to give them a download pack. So you might want to set up an initial fee. You might want to do a live at the beginning, one-on-one. So you set up an initial fee. The other thing is you can set up trial days as well. You can see here. So you can actually give them a trial day of like 3-4 days to try it out before they purchase. That's just a few of the options within subscription. So I'm going to say with this subscription plan that we're going to charge maybe £20 per week. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go weekly, and I'm not going to set an additional fee. So I'm charging £20 a week to do this course. So weekly cost. Okay. Again, you've got all the button text for this. You can set community, tiers, set availability, bullet points, trial days, and we're going to click finish. So this is the subscription. Now we've got that set up. I'm going to jump back into the incognito page and show you it. Unless I've lost it. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So let's refresh this now. And now we have this weekly cost. So you can see in here that £20 a week for all billings. So it's going to charge them £20 a week to be on there. So you can see I've set up 3 pricing plans, and that is how you do it. So that is setting up a course, which we've just finished, and it's 5:28. So you can see how quick it is. Now there's a ton of other stuff we can do with courses. We can automate emails to go out. We can set up coupons. Coupons can be good. You're going to notice that if I go to here, I can set up a coupon. Now, there isn't a coupon set up at the moment, so I'm going to go in. And coupons are a really good way of sort of incentivizing people to come into the course. So you might occasionally, like if it was a Black Friday, you might want to be offering something like 50% off. So let's set up coupon up for this one-off pricing. So the first thing we're going to do is just delete out the other pricing plans. You don't have to do this. I just want to keep everything nice and clean, so it's nice and easy to follow. So one-off pricing, we're going to go now and we're going to create a coupon for this. So I'm going to go into courses here, and I'm going to go down to where it says coupons. So I've got coupon, it says no coupons have been created yet. So we're going to click here, create a coupon, and we're going to call this, I'll call it Black Friday, shall I? Because it's the same. So let's go 2021. Okay. And you can set a percentage off on an amount. So if we've got our course, we can take like £500 off, and that would be 50%. Or we can just put 50% in here. So 50% off all products. So we can apply this to all products or specific products. Or we've only got one product, so it doesn't matter, but I'm going to choose specific products, show you. Now I'm going to go select the product, and I'm going to go and select the course. If you have multiple courses, they will appear under here. So I'm going to select that. It's asked us which pricing plan you want it applied to. So if you've got multiple pricing plans and you don't want the coupon to be applied to, say, the weekly £20 off, then you don't select that one, and then it wouldn't apply to that one. You couldn't redeem the coupon against that one. So if I go in here, we've only got one pricing, so I'm going to select that. Okay. And you can also say a redemption limit. So if you only want to give out 100, and this has been asked by people before, like how can I sell like a course, a block course, like of 100 seats to a company? So what you could do is you could put £100 off here. You could put 100% off, which basically make the course 0. Then you could manually take a payment from the organization, and then you could send them a code. They could also send you an email or CSV format of all the students, which you could import in and put them straight into the course. So that's how you could do that sort of thing. That was a question that was raised. So you can put a redemption limit. You can also put an expiry limit. So when do they expire? Because after Black Friday, if you want to run it for 4 days, you probably want it to expire after a certain amount of time. So you can put an expiry date in there. Now, if you're running a subscription, you can also, these apply. It doesn't apply with one-off payment because it's one-off payment. So you can apply discount to the first billing only. Okay. So if you've got a, say, £20 a week, you could apply it. So the first week would be £10, and then after that would be 10, it would be 20. Or you could apply it for a discount every billing cycle, so it'd always be 50%. Or you can apply it for a certain amount of months. So for the first 3 months, you might give them 50% off, and then after that, it's the full price. So that's how that works. So we're giving you every kind of variable in there to help you. So I'm going to just click in here, apply every discount, doesn't matter, and I'm going to click add. So what's going to happen now is it's going to create the coupon. The coupon code is this code that you set up. Also pay attention to it not having funny characters in there or any spaces. It's just one word. Okay. And we've also got a redemption limit. It says unlimited, and we've used 0. So anyone that uses this, you will see this go up. Okay. It said a discount of 50%, and it says applicable products, recorded session. So the only course that we've got up. There's no expiry, so there's nothing there. So we can use 2 things here. We can either send out in an email or put on a website the link to the actual product, and then we can say and redeem this coupon code, and we can send them this. Or we can use a direct link that has the URL, the coupon code in it, which automatically deducts it. Let me show you how it works. If I click here, get URL, you're going to see that it's added at the end of the URL for the course. It's added this question mark coupon equals Black Friday 2021. That's the important bit that will deduct from the price. So if I copy that, and I'm just showing you internally what's kind of happening here. It doesn't really matter. So this is a direct link that will take that 50% off. So if I go into incognito mode again, and I paste that link in there, notice question mark coupon equals Black Friday, and hit enter. When this course comes up, when we scroll down, it says £500 because it's automatically taken that coupon code off. Okay. So what happens if they just go to the course sales page via this, like this? Then it's still going to actually show it because it's cached. This page is cached. So I'm going to actually close this down and open a new incognito window and hit there. And now if I go down to the bottom, it should, oh, it's still in there. So it's caching, it's saving that coupon. So I need to manually go in and just remove it. So let's go in and remove that. Okay. And let's go back one. Refresh. Oh, it's still doing it. Crazy. Well, anyway, if I get rid of that, you'll see that it shows 100. So 1,000. So now, if you wanted people to redeem that coupon, you could just give them the code. So they could have the URL that you've given them. Okay. And then you could give them the code. So the code being, I'm not explaining this very well, but hopefully you're getting it. The code being this. So copy this code, go back to the page. Where are you? There you are. Oh, that's not you. And what they can do once they get to this page is they can redeem a coupon. So they can go into here, they can enter that coupon, and they can click apply. So that's two ways of doing it. You can send them the direct link, or you can send them the coupon. You can send them the URL of the course page and then the coupon. So the URL of the sales page would be the one that you sent them. And then you'd say, when you go to checkout, redeem the coupon Black Friday 2021 to get X amount off. Okay, so that is basically it. You've looked at all the pricing options. You've looked at coupons. One last thing you need to do is test it. So if you want to, when you set up your pricing thing and you're testing your site, we've published this site, so it's published. So I would suggest that you don't put it on any of the pages until you've tested it. So you've set up a pricing, you've published the site, you've gone into the page, and then you've maybe set a coupon up for 99%. So with 99%, you can go in there, pay a little bit, just check that the system's working, check that the payment's being taken, check that the PayPal has been taken. Go in there, manually add yourself as a student, check the course all looks good and works, testing. So as my voice is about to go, just test. And if it's all working okay, then you can release it. All right. So in this this day's session, we've looked at setting a site up and setting a course up. Also, Kevin was talking about marketing. We had Rakesh on talking about the history of Zenler, and we also showed you what's been released over the last 12 months. So we're going to carry these on. I'm going to stop my share now. And I'm
back on, David.
Hi, Rakesh. How are you doing?
That's good. Yeah, all right, yeah.
Right, my throat's going a little bit, so I think I finished the course stuff now.
Yeah, looks like looks like you're straining your throat, I guess.
Yes, cool. Yeah, it's quite hard. I mean, guys, I've done a lot of lives this week. It's been like overkill, and I've got a 2-hour one on Sunday, so it's really like
yeah.
So I'm going to
it's been a session, it's a lot.
Do you want to pick up on anything, Rakesh? Is there any questions coming or anything?
I think there's a question from Mary regarding deliverability rates of emails in on the platform. She says Mailchimp claims 99% are delivered, but what they don't say is it flies into the spam folders. I think the fact that we are in beta, we have got pretty good solid email deliverability rates. As far as you make sure you follow the best practices that you have on the video. I think I've chatted you the video as the link to the video, and also if you set up the email domain authentication to prove to the providers that you own the domain that you are sending the email from. And as with any provider, when you switch providers, you are going to take a hit on your deliverability. You need to warm up your domain, and because we're sending to a different service. And our code Zenler may use SendGrid. SendGrid has quite a good email deliverability rate. Yeah, as far as whether it goes to spam folder or not, it again depends on several factors, depending on the content, depending on your domain's credibility, and so on and so forth. Yeah, but from Zenler point of view, I think we haven't got many complaints recently around deliverability. Having said that, Zenler Mail is still a work in progress. We are not fully there yet. So yeah, so we keep refining it as we speak. Let me see if I see any other questions.
Yeah, I think the email deliverability, if you look at that YouTube video that Rakesh has posted, that's really helped people out. It's good. I mean, there's no way to guarantee that from any service that it's not going to go into the spam folder, it's just one of those things. It depends on the content you put in there. That's not our thing. That's why we make sure that the emails that we send out are very plain text orientated, because they give the best deliverability. Otherwise, if we put loads of template in there where you've got loads of graphics, video frames in there, loads of links, then there's a much higher chance that it won't actually get through. So that's why we stick with the kind of plain text. Now, we're moving on stuff all the time and we're looking at these things all the time, but definitely follow our best practices for sure.
Cool. And I think Magda, hey Magda, she has a question that how do we create the search like the one you showed in the description section of the tutorials.newzenler.com? Is she referring to the jump search that you did, David?
I don't know, because we've got Searchy, so we use Searchy at the top. You can basically grab the embed code and put that in, and that's exactly what we did. If you,
I'm not entirely sure whether she's.
I think she's referring to the search by the curriculum or the extended part. Basically, Magda, that's the piece of JavaScript. So it's just a search piece of JavaScript that we put in there. Now, I might put that into Ninja Tricks, but it's not something we support you with. Any sort of code that you're putting into the site, we're not going to guarantee that it's going to work, because you've got to know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can really mess up the site. And that's why we don't offer support on coding, because it's outside of the Zenler platform. But I can certainly share that with you, Magda.
Yeah, I think she confirms that it's not Searchy that she's referring to. It's the one at the bottom of the course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's the questions I see. I don't see any other questions on the chat.
No, that's good. All right, guys. So you saw us there. We built a site, we built a course, we've done quite a lot today. So for our next Day with Zenler, we're going to be focusing on the marketing side of Zenler, what we can do to market our courses, our membership sites. And I think you're going to be amazed that, like, the automations, I'm going to go into automations, I'm going to go into funnel creation, we're going to look at lives and how they can help. We'll have Kevin on to discuss about blogs, and of course Rakesh is always here helping out with the questions and giving us good input as well on everything that's coming along. So it's going to be an exciting one. It's going to be pushing that way, and hopefully in a month's time we'll have the marketing evergreen course out as well. Kevin's already in September going to be doing his fear, face your fear type things to help you as well. So there's lots of stuff coming up. It's really good. We've had a lot of people asking us questions, and yeah, thank you, Rakesh, for helping out. I've already thanked Kevin, because he was on for about an hour. So good stuff.
That's easy, but yeah, you've done the entire day for like, I think 6 hours. I think great effort from.
I'm absolutely
David,
gone. I was looking at it and I was thinking, what, 5
Yeah,
live.
you need to take. Yeah.
I love it, but my voice isn't holding up.
Yes.
I love to do it. I'd carry on for 12 hours if I could, but I
think yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
the voice is not going to be with you, I think.
No, I'll have some tea after this, I think. All right, guys. Well, that's it. You've seen how to create a site, how to create a course. That's it. We're about 1:45, but we've covered everything we need to. No more questions coming in, so we're going to wrap it up. So take care. Again, thank you, Rakesh.
Yep.
And see you guys again later. Bye.
Bye-bye.